Hey everyone, how you doing? Sorry I shut down the previous link, but again, I wanted to name this Georgia-Florida Watch Party, or for you sensitive Florida fans, Florida-Georgia Watch Party, since Florida comes before Georgia in the alphabet. I know that that's a sensitive thing for some Florida fans. Florida-Georgia Watch Party. Anyway, I'm going to have that on the big screen here. You're going to have the pleasure of watching me watch the Georgia-Florida game. I'm putting Penn State and Iowa on a smaller screen. I may put a third game on this screen while we do the chat. So I'm going to have some analysis for you. You guys will obviously fill up the chat room. I'll respond to the chat. I'll talk about the games. Sometimes I'm just going to sit here and watch the games. So we'll have a good time with that. All right, I need to get myself situated, but I just wanted to get the watch party started. All right, let's get the Georgia-Florida game on here.
Stanley, I think, is one of the more underrated quarterbacks in all of college football. That is one of the top 3 quarterback prospects for the 2019 draft since the start of the season. And listen, do I think he's ready to play in the NFL right now? No, he still is developing to do. This is just his 21st start, but he's a big, strong-arm quarterback. Pro-style system.
I just heard Mel Kiper say that Nathan Stanley was his 3rd rated quarterback for the NFL draft this year, if he comes out, behind Ryan Finley and Justin Herbert. Okay, I'll go with that. If you guys have any comments to make, I'll take calls, but I don't want to be on the phone the whole game because I want to watch the game. So if you've got a quick comment, I will have the phone ready at 860-325-3687. Okay. Iowa's off to a good start. They got a safety and a blocked punt.
This is the not for sale Q14 straight top speed accessible. And this is a totally redesigned 2019 Q14.
All right.
We were one of them that available money truck. You know, you can tell them apart.
How should I do this? Let me.
For $169 a month.
Do you know what a cheesesteak looks like? You think I can get a better one at Burger King? No, you can't get a good cheesesteak anywhere.
Let's see. I'm going to put this.
It's good. I probably eat this whole thing if I'm allowed.
The new Philly cheesecake, inspired by Philly, improved by 5, only at Burger King.
Hound Dogs first. Good to see you, man. Who you got, Tennessee or South Carolina? Tennessee, South Carolina. I was going to add that to my prediction list, but I didn't. They're not in the top 25, so I'm not obligated. I did not add it. I thought that would be a difficult pick anyway and didn't want to think about it. Tennessee, South Carolina, it's in Columbia. Man, I think that's a pick 'em game. If I had to go with somebody, I'd go with the Gamecocks. I don't like the CBS announcers at all, number one. ND fan, I actually still have to switch to the Georgia-Florida game. I've been watching Iowa-Penn State. It kind of captivated me with the early punt block for the touchdown, and then Nathan Stanley hit some plays. All right, let's get Nestler and Danielson on here with Georgia-Florida. They're in commercial break. I'm going to have Penn State and Iowa on the small screen here. I've got your comments. Maybe I'm going to pull up the chat here and put no, this makes more sense. We'll put Penn State and Iowa in front of me here. I can totally envision this next year with just an elaborate setup with multiple screens in the studio and the whole deal. Okay, DJ Bucci, Florida, and we beat Georgia. I don't know what make LSU look good. Number one ND fan. Oh, and we can acknowledge how Northwestern put themselves in really good position to win the Big Ten West. Yes, I was talking about that during the last live stream. Northwestern has control of the Big Ten Western Division. They're only 5-3, but they lost 2 of those games out of conference. They've now beaten Purdue and Wisconsin head-to-head. All right, we've got Georgia, Florida, front and center. I have to see Iowa, Penn State as well. Let's see, other 3:30 games of importance. I don't know. Clemson leads Florida State 59-10. Goodness gracious. What an annihilation. I know this is Mark Richt's 3rd year, and this is Willie Taggart's 1st year, but consider Richt took over a program that was going just a little over 500, I think 7-6 the year before. Then he goes 9-4, wins a bowl game. Then he goes 10-3 and wins the division, and now he's 5-3. I get it. He's not getting the job done, but Willie Taggart, I know this is just his 1st year, but he's 4-4. Okay, Georgia's driving. I took the Bulldogs to win. I took Florida plus the 7.5 points at the time. And I will do what I need to do to take notes so we can have a smart discussion later. Florida's all-white jerseys are really looking good, according to number one ND fan. Sure. Let's see what we've got here. We've got Florida in the all-white. And sorry, I'm just catching up to this game. Georgia's driving. 3rd and 3 at the 13. And again, I will take calls from you guys if they're quick calls, just quick and out. Antonio Brooks, good to see you. Coach O told his players enjoy the weekend and stay off that damn Twitter machine. That's like something my mom would say. 4-loss Northwestern has a good shot at being in the Big Ten championship, and people want auto bids for conference champs. Yeah, I'm one of them. First of all, they don't have 4 losses. So let's get the facts straight. Yes, I want auto bids for conference champions. Why would we play conference? Why have conferences? That's idiotic. Don't even have the conferences. Just have a bunch of independent teams all over the country and just select the best ones. Why have conferences? Don't have conferences. Don't have conferences. Just select the 4 or 8 or 16 best teams, and then you can have a tournament. Don't have conferences. Why would you have conferences if the conference championship doesn't mean anything toward a playoff. It's just a trophy game. All right, let's get back to the notes here. Those are my picks, which were a disaster at noon, and I knew they were going to be. I had a feeling. I got to go somewhat with my gut. All right, I got to start watching this game too. Got it.
Until the sack by Joseph. Joseph saved the Gators. Sonic's $2.99 Carhartt Classic. A juicy quarter-pound double cheeseburger or a flavorful signature slinger with golden brown crispy tops. A deal so nice, you should order it twice. Because it's only $2.99. Hurry in for a Carhartt Classic. Ending soon.
So it's 3rd and goal inside the 10-yard line. It's not 3rd and goal and you've had a bunch of penalties and sacks and you're backed up to the 25-yard line. It's 3rd and goal at the 8-yard line and you don't trust your quarterback to make a read and complete a pass for a touchdown. You give up. And sure, DeAndre Swift is talented and you've got a good offensive line. You could bust one possibly up the middle. But seriously? Iowa kicks a field goal. They lead 5-0.
Yeah, we can do that. Sounds like a plan.
Start a plan that flexes with New York life. I'll never go home again. For many, not the few.
Let me tighten this up a little bit so I can see your comments. Let's do that.
Monday, the word is out. The neighborhood has star power.
So, number one Indy fan, you believe that everybody in the country should just be an independent. Let's break up the Big Ten, the SEC, and all the other conferences, not have conferences, no tradition, just everybody's an independent. And then you're going to make up, I like the regional games at the conferences. Yes, absolutely, Jamie. We should have regional competition. That's what conferences are. You would destroy the fiber, the fabric of college football if you broke up all the conferences. There would be no SEC. None. And you could just mix South Florida, Central Florida, Florida State, all those teams in the South from the ACC and some independents in there, and you play whoever you want, I guess. Charlie Whelan, I've never seen your name in the chat before. Welcome to Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Yes, I take notes because we actually discuss what happened on the field, and we actually discuss, debate, analyze the game situations and the coaching, and analyze the players and rank the players, rate the players. We do all that. This is for the smart fan. Then teams get to make their own schedules. If they want regional rivalries, schedule them. I'm just saying Alabama shouldn't have to play teams like Vandy every year, plus we'd get more. Well, we know that Alabama actually plays Vandy once every 7 years. Once every 7 years. Unique games like Notre Dame, Georgia, Ohio State, Oklahoma. Those two games have been played in the last 2 years. We need conferences. All right, Florida's got the ball at the 25. Oh, yeah, and he missed him. So, Charlie, see, I'm not going to remember this 3 hours from now. Frank's flea flicker play. He misses Van Jefferson. Bad throw. Hound dog, I just get annoyed when people talk about Notre Dame joining the ACC. The Big Ten makes no much more regional sense. Yeah, the Big Ten should have Notre Dame. We've talked about that a lot. Fumble!
Hand it off and try to gain 4 or 5 yards and not get behind the sticks. They looked like they were still a lot of Holyfield. Just don't worry about it. They're like football. Swift is in there now. From the shotgun on 2nd down and 15. Swift. Nice job by C.J. McWilliams to stay on, make the tackle. And this is the down, the Florida speed rush has to win. Georgia will gain confidence. You give them 3rd and long. If it's a drop back passing game, Georgia will gain confidence if they can keep that pass rush away from the corner. They promise not light. 3rd down. So this is 3rd and 13. Floats one to the corner. Georgia defense gave it back to their offense in a good spot. And Jake Fromm knew exactly what he was going to do. Richard LeCount and Monty Rice come up with the defense. And the Dogs offense could score. 16-yard touchdown For Kelly Clark, so we got to town a couple of days ago. We put around the channels. ESPNU was running a replay of that college blues with it. It was intense. You know, we were talking to Brian Ferris about that game yesterday. He said, listen, Penn State had a great plan against us. They confused us up front. They were moving and shifting, doing all kinds of stuff. Listen, we need to just come out, run our offense, run our plays, not worry about what they're going to do, and we'll be done off. Surprised by Ferris admitting that. I'll go out and look and say, hey, we were fooled. They confused us. Professionally honest, when that flag comes down, they didn't run the ball well enough. They only had 82 yards rushing in that game. They're going to win today. It's got to be better. Offside. With contact, defense number 54. Now Golding remains second down. Robert Windsor has been heavily involved, the good and the bad early on here. His second penalty already. I think it's worth noting that Jonathan Sullivan, the safety who went out on the last drive, is back in the game. I still think that Iowa should target him with their tight end instead of passing him. Second down at 5. The 37. Penn State. On the ground, Kelly Martin goes flying. The ball came out short of the first down line. He's going to come out of the pile with the ball. Penn State says they have it. But Cam Brown knocked it free. They're going to allow people pointing in both directions. Iowa's got it.
Iowa just fumbled, but got it back. We'll go back to the Georgia-Florida game. Don't waste your time watching this game. Florida is a joke. Space Mountain. Well, right now, all we know is that Florida turned the ball over and set up Georgia in great field position to score a touchdown. Other than that, before this game, Florida's got a much better resume than Georgia. It's not even close. I'm not saying Florida's better. I picked Georgia to win, but I wouldn't say Florida's a joke because they played a much better season than Georgia has. It's not even close. They beat LSU head-to-head. Georgia got thumped by LSU head-to-head. They actually had to play Kentucky as well, which Georgia has yet to play Kentucky. And so they played a better season. They had to go to Mississippi State. They won that game. Georgia wins this game by 40. Wish I would have had you around Space Mountain before the game. I would have taken the 40. I would take the 40. I'm thinking this is more of a Georgia 24-20 game. I believe that was a run by LaMichael Pirine, which it was funny because I heard during the highlights of the national games on the Big Ten Network last week, somebody referred to LaMichael Pirine as LaMichael Pirine. So obviously they don't watch a whole lot of Florida football and don't know what's going on outside the Big Ten.
Talk about Swift and Holyfield. Those two guys both had great games. Time Florida played, which was the winner of Vanderbilt. Time to play fake the throws a little bit low. Here, Freddie swinging. And that's some shenanigans going for the first time on the sideline. Pushing shot, no flags. This game has a reputation of being chippy, but in the last 4 years, there's only been one unsportsmanlike penalty in this game. But it is third and medium, and I would call that a successful second down.
The Iowa tight end Hawkinson just jumped over a player for Penn State. It was one of those classic leaps that you see pretty often now, but it was a good one. It was a clean one.
Himself some time. Late throw, but it's a good one. First down. Gators Tony.
Kadarius Toney, it's a nice play. Frank's looking good.
Was coming in and then spun inside. I thought if he kept going outside, he'd have had a play because he spun back in. That allowed Franks to get outside. Florida and Georgia territory for the first time in the 4-4. As they got a 13-yard pickup on third down. Franks will keep it. He says he doesn't do this a lot. Pretty good. Picking up a 4. Just enough. Just be a threat.
Oklahoma leads Kansas State 10-0. Do you think maybe we'll see somebody like Ziggy Ansah come from a different country? My Wi-Fi selection there. So hang on just a second. Okay, I think we're good. I missed the pick here.
Check it out. There's a variety of packages, so we can take care of any additions you want to build here. This could be a song about home insurance. All right, I'll try that. Wait, maybe it's about auto insurance. With Nationwide, you can save 20% by bundling your home and auto insurance. Bundling home and auto. 2 songs in one. What do you call that? Crossover? No, it's more of a mashup. Yeah, mashup. You see, that's why we're a great band. I'm not a band. Yes, we are. We are a band. I'm a game of band. We're more than just $5 median one-time pizza. Stuffed crust, nuts, breadsticks, roll nuts, pasta, you cinnamon, mini rolls. We're the $5 lineup, the best size for your pizza. $5 each. Choose 2 or more, $5 each. No one out pizzas the best. For those who thirst for more, Coors Light is cold, clean, and crisp. Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Saturday, December 8th on CBS. Want more stats? Hey Siri, who leads college football in rushing yards? I don't know the answer to that. This guy just threw a 6th interception. That part I know. Miscue so far here. And just throw it woefully short, or do you not see it? Hard to imagine. You did not see the flat defender on that play. Georgia with the turnover at their own 29. Elijah Holyfield in the middle of the pack. Back to push for a decent game. This Florida defense has to figure out a way to get their team back in the game. I don't think C.J. Henderson's going to be back in the game. Looks like he's heading to the locker room. Jamie, you got more on that?
Yeah, they did everything they possibly could to get his low back to loosen up, which was the issue from that injury. You see him walking very gingerly. Couldn't even break out in a jog. Now, during that last series, Juwan Taylor had the defensive headset on the entire time. I think they're trying to work out that communication in the secondary.
Well, second down at 6. Here's Swift back in there with Fromm. He'll get the carry. Pretty short of the first down. We got third down and 2 or 3. After turnover, we always think we're going to go for the big play, try to make Florida pay for the turnover. The patience of Jim Chaney, offensive coordinator with Georgia, runs the ball, has a 3rd and medium. Now, this is the time when your quarterback can take any throw and make a first down. The tight end's in the slot on the right side. I think that's Charlie Warner, excuse me. Keep it on the ground. And Swift's not going to get anything. Nice job by the Florida defense. Zuniga was the first guy that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson cleaned up, and it's 4th down. Georgia player down. It's Andrew Thomas, so that's not good news. It's a left tackle. He's been struggling with injuries, but it was his ankle injury that he was struggling with before. Sophomore, Lithonia, 6'5", 325. Looking at that ankle again. Did the pile fall on him? Yeah, it sure did. Yes, it did. The right leg. Yeah.
All right, let's see. Which live stream day was it? I'll have to catch you next time. Prince.
Before you came back in, Marcus hands me this envelope. It's like $3.
Natty 2012, but hey, Miami had one really good looking recruiting class.
What? Appreciate the $3, man. And we found out we both play trumpet.
ND hasn't won anything since the 80s. How are you talking? Nice couch. It's okay. It's a little beat up. Keep hearing I need a sectional, Prince. So we'll see. Iowa winning 12-0. What a boring-ass game. Well, it should tighten up. Penn State's on the move right now. Miles Sanders just went for about, or Ricky Slade just went for big gain. Iowa's my upset pick today. Looking good so far. It's early. Little Miami Notre Dame back and forth on here. All right, Georgia punting. Couldn't do anything with the turnover. Florida at the 25. 2 minutes left in the first quarter, 10-0. Iowa's on top of Penn State 12-0. I see that Houston's beating South Florida 14-0.
So the quarterback whisperer, Dan Mullen, has to whisper into Felipe Frank's ear to settle down.
Yep. Just it was too long on one and too short on the other.
Because as much as you want to run the ball and make that the lead of your offense, you can't win without a quarterback.
Keep it on the ground here, P. Ryan. On top the first guy.
Nice run by P. Ryan. Arizona State leads USC 14-7. Kentucky with a field goal on Missouri. Oddest line of the week when you consider what they've done this year. And I get the line, but Missouri a touchdown, full touchdown favorite against Kentucky. I know they're at home and they score a ton of points, and Kentucky is not impressive, but Kentucky has done so much this year, they still get no respect. Will Helton get let go today? Yeah, we talked about that with our inside USC guy yesterday. Did you enjoy the Clemson game? No, I did not enjoy the Clemson game. It was boring. I watched the first half, and that was it. I know you enjoyed the Clemson game, Clemson Alum 98. I thought it was boring. I could have been watching it was my primary game on my 50-inch. I put Wisconsin Northwestern and Purdue Michigan State on my two small screens. I should have done it the other way. That pretty much turned out, not that I thought it was going to be 59-10, because again, I took Florida State plus the points, but I knew better. I thought I would have guessed more in the 41-17 range, like not just an annihilation like it was.
Small changes using a fullback back in the day for Florida. Just the small changes that keep the defense on.
And that should be it for the first quarter.
He's got an idea, and he's going to put a new quarterback in there every once in a while.
Who else is playing? We got on ESPNU Northern Illinois at BYU. How many people are watching this game? 3-0 BYU in the second quarter. Okay. On the Big Ten Network, we probably have nobody playing. No, we've got Illinois at Maryland. Who's watching this game? Illinois, Maryland. Maryland leads 14-3. First quarter. The Fox game, we've got Kansas State at Oklahoma. How much is Oklahoma winning this game by? 17-0, a minute left in the first quarter. And we've got the SEC Network. Kentucky's on top of Mizzou, 3-0. We've got TCU and Kansas. Who's going to choose to watch this game unless you got family or friends on the field? Kansas leads 7-3. And again, you guys know I'm a college football nut. If Kansas and TCU are playing on a Thursday night, I'll watch the game if I'm home. But not when all these other games are on. Flipping between the cocktail party and Penn State, Iowa. That's what I'm doing, Clemson Alum 98. That's my deal. These are the two best games by far. Two best matchups. We'll see how the games actually play out.
Back deep for the Horned Frogs from his own 10. How about this lineup here?
All right, Victor. Let's stick with football. Victor's been Victor called for the first time the other night. I appreciate the support, Victor. Victor reminds everyone to like. But let's keep it to football, boys. And we've got a few ladies on the chat that I've found out in the past. They don't necessarily make themselves known on the chat. Maybe not with us right now, but we do have some ladies on the chat on a regular basis. Reasonable Gump showing up. Penn State, Iowa shouldn't even be in the same sentence as the cocktail party. Okay, Reasonable Gump. I'm going to put it in the same sentence. It's a big game. It's a really two good teams. So there are many years in which Florida and Georgia has sucked and not been a good game. So we can say this about any matchup. Sucks that 4 of the top 5 all have byes. Bama, LSU, Michigan. Bama, LSU, Michigan, Notre Dame. All right. Back to the Penn State just scored. Pat Freiermuth, who's a good tight end, 18-yard touchdown reception. So Penn State's only down 12-7. With people like the other George, of course, no ladies will want to say they're in the chat. Yeah, so I think you guys get the vibe that I would like to see on the channel in the chat. So you guys trash talk all you want. I think it's great. But let's keep the politics, religion, personal attacks out of it. Prince, so how did freshman Trevor Lawrence handle a tough road environment? Pretty well. Or we could call it maybe a road environment. Should we call it a road environment or a tough road environment?
14 rushing attempts in the first quarter. I predicted somewhere near 40. Front of that curve right now. And Jake Fromm, in the last 5 quarters against Florida, has now only thrown 9 passes total. He doesn't have to throw a lot. He really, that's the formula.
Okay, Florida's got good field position. Let's see if they can do anything.
Toss the two. He puts his foot in the ground and come back in a good run. We've got almost 10. You have to have your tight ends doing the job. Samson Lewis has did a great job to get them open and put his foot in the ground and make a first down. They actually gave him the 10. Yep, you're right. First down. Georgia territory. We're here not too long ago before Frank threw the interception. Line, the middle of the pack. We're going to get to the line of scrimmage. Won't quite. Let's go at Zucker in New York. Forward update. All right, yes, it's a forward update in Kentucky. A team that can run the ball. Tied with Florida and Georgia. Top East special teams coming through at Mizzou. Darius West blocking a 43-yard field goal. Kentucky on top, 3-0. 5 changes coming in the first quarter. Back to you guys. Kentucky, like Florida and Georgia, both 4-1 in the SEC East. Kentucky's got Georgia next week. Play action. Franks wants to go deep and does out there.
Awful throw. Throw it out there. Lay it out there. Out there. Man, you've got to throw the ball out in space.
Receivers 3 to the top.
They got a chance to get the first down. Nice play. Well-designed play.
Design a play that Georgia has never seen. And you knew when you see his motion and you see the linebacker chasing him, they had man-to-man, get one key block, and you make another first down. That's where that quarterback coach, that play caller, can help a struggling quarterback. Today, with the fire, one that should have been a touchdown if he had pulled the string on it. Now back to the ground, a loss of the play. A big carry on the stop by P-Rod. He's going to lose the yard there. Goes out, and Jordan Scarlett comes right through. Stevens, that's going to be a false start. Paul Stevens. I didn't see Georgia react to it. They just pointed to it. False start. On the offense. Number 82. He is allowed to shift, and since Georgia didn't move, he should have lined up and moved a little bit, you know? Yeah. I mean, Georgia could have right away touched, but all he did is point to him. Ends up second down at 16 with a penalty. Here's the second most penalized team in the conference. For the Scarlet, the right side, the run, to the 30. That's the original.
So they pick up the inside handoff. They pick up about 4 yards on 2nd and 16.
Keep this ball on the ground, try to get this game, and put some points on the board for the game.
Throw the ball. You shouldn't be risky, but you can't be ultra conservative and try to win this game. You're already down 10. They've got a good defense. You've got a bad offense. You've got to take advantage of opportunities. You're at their 30. Throw a slant. throw a crossing route, run the draw, but now you set yourself up for 4th and 1. Now what do you do? 4th and 1.5. They're going to go for it. Okay. I agree with this decision. I think this decision's fine. They're going to let him throw the ball. Oh, my word. Oh, and they got a call. They got bailed out. They got bailed out. And maybe it was legit. We'll see. Wow, that was big.
Right here, you're gonna get the crossing, delay, defense. So I think you're right, Brad. You know, we talked about they're gonna run on 3rd down, but he got so much. He had a play he knew he could go to and said, I'm gonna dial it. I mean, LSU did it, what, 4 or 5 times? Yeah. 4th down, LSU.
Big play.
Georgia.
That kind of hurts that 40-point spread possibly here. I don't know that somebody predicted. Oh, look at that. To the 1. What do you guys think of this game? It looks like it should be a good one. They're not going to score a ton of points, and Frank scores the touchdown. Okay, it's 10-7. It was a well-crafted drive, Gary Danielson. 14 plays for 76 yards, 7-minute drive. Vegas said Georgia 30, Florida 23. Yep. Swampy, I gotcha. Yeah, 53-point over-under, 7-point spread. Number 1 MD fan, I'm making food, but hey, I got to drop my life to argue with an idiot. Don't argue with idiots, although that's kind of my job on here, right? Not any of you guys, just some of the idiots that pass through from time to time. All right, so Florida's back in the game, 10-7. Got Iowa on top of Penn State, 12-7. They just started the 2nd quarter. And what else do we want to check on? About South Florida and Houston. Now, South Florida came in undefeated. Houston's lost a game. They lost to Texas Tech. And they're a 10-point favorite against a ranked undefeated team. Interesting. And they are winning 14-0. So South Florida's got the ball at the Houston 40. Let's see if they can do anything here.
Just taking a shot to the right side, holding that grip area right behind him right there. This is a tough football player, competitor, that team leader. Anytime you need a catch, big play to happen.
I personally think it was crazy that Kentucky was a 7-point underdog against Missouri. I'm not surprised. I picked Mizzou to win the game, but to give them a full touchdown in that game, a team that just keeps all the scores close. Oh, there we go, Swampy McGee, right on cue. I took Mizzou to win the game. I took Kentucky with the 7.5 points and put my bank account behind it. Victor, hoping Iowa wins today. I do as well. Nothing against Penn State. Again, I've got interest involved here. Little equity. South Florida, I would like to see them cover, and they pick up a nice little first down on the run to the 25. So South Florida needs a score here, and they picked it up on 3rd and 11. Blake Barnett, former Alabama quarterback. All right, let's get back to, well, let's watch one more play. I should DVR one of these games. Maybe I'll DVR this game. This could be a decent game at the end. Houston, South Florida. Who else is playing right now? Oklahoma, Kansas State. Forget it. All the Big 12 games before tonight's game are pretty much garbage. Blowouts or just not significant games. Looked like the Iowa State-Texas Tech game was a pretty decent game, 40-31. Ooh, got the first down. That was a nice run. All right. Back to, I'm going to think about what game I could possibly DVR. I would want to DVR Kentucky-Mizzou. I don't get the SEC network. I work for the company. I think I've told you guys that. Work for the company. Don't get the SEC network. You guys can imagine how important Saturdays are at ESPN. So I'm very fortunate that for the past, I would say for the past 10 years, 10 or 11 years, I've been off on Saturdays. So I love that. There's not really a marquee matchup tonight. I know that the ABC would like us to believe that it's Texas and Oklahoma State, but it's not. So what games are you guys going to watch tonight? I happen to think that maybe Mississippi State and Texas A&M is the best game played tonight. Stanford, Washington State's a big game. Swampy's liking Laura Rutledge. Where is she? Or are we just talking about Laura Rutledge? She was doing the game last night. Oh, South Florida to the goal line. Who's on ESPN 2? They've got the Arizona State USC game. I should probably DVR that game. I need to really increase my USC coverage. USC used to give me a ton of views, and now probably nobody with USC watches me anymore because I can't cover them. Navy Thomas going with Texas, Oklahoma State. Arizona State, USC. Arizona State leads 17-7. USC. Yeah. All right. Nobody's at the game either. Why would they be? Too much to do in Southern California. And too bad of a football team. Oh, Penn State has just snapped the ball through the end zone. So Penn State in this game had a bad snap on a punt, and it was blocked. And now they've had one go through the end zone, and Iowa has just scored a second safety. Two safeties. Spoiler alert, this may be in the newsletter on Monday, in the facts, trends, and stats. Two safeties for Iowa in the first half. Let's find out if there's any information out there on who is the last team to score two safeties in one half, let alone one game. One half. All right.
I love this song.
Yeah, feel it still.
Wait a minute. Pause. What?
The song, Feel It Still?
No, I don't feel it. You know what? Never mind. Contour, what song is this?
What do you know?
Contour's voice.
Oh, Trace McSorley's in the tent. Did you guys see that? I was thinking the same thing, Clemson alum 98. That, yeah, 14-7 would be 2 TDs for Iowa. And then they ran out the free kick out to the 43, so they're in good shape. All right, back to Georgia, Florida. Swampy, 31-4, 1987. I remember that game. I don't remember the game. I just remember that being an odd score. I don't remember much about the game. Somebody just mentioned that Arkansas lost to Vandy, Swampy McGee, 45-31. So Arkansas falls to 2-6. I got lambasted by about a dozen Arkansas fans when I picked them to go. I forget if I picked them to go 4-8 or 5-7 and to go 1-7 in the SEC. And I was obliterated by like a dozen Arkansas fans who were convinced that they were going to go 8-4 or 9-3. And like I told them, I have no issue with you being delusional and picking Arkansas to go whatever you want. You're a fan, but don't call me an idiot. But as long as they're watching. How are you feeling about that? How, Mark? Feeling about what? We'll have Florida set up on offense now. They got the 3-and-out. Arkansas first-year coach can't be on the hot seat. No, he's not on the hot seat. Absolutely, Clemson alum. Yeah, I know I'm going to get obliterated. Yeah, by my Arkansas pick, even though it was right. Maybe Thomas. And Gamecast on ESPN says this. Team run for negative 25 yards for safety. Yeah, that's a bit misleading. Oh, is this McSorley? Is that an update on McSorley with a sprained ankle or a broken ankle? Antonio, you talking about McSorley? That would be tough to take. I like Trace McSorley. Purdue plus 2.5 couldn't cover. They were actually minus 2.5. Michigan State 23-13. Reasonable Gump doing the good thing and taking your wife out on a date. Good for you. You'll have a better time than watching football. Anyway, somebody's calling in. Let's see what we got here. You guys aren't going to be able to hear the call. That's the other reason why I'm not going to take these calls for long. Hey, who do we have on the line? Oh, hey, what's going on? Who's on the line? Freeman, what's going on? In 2019. So hang on just a second, Freeman, because nobody can hear you because I don't have my mics hooked up. So I'm going to repeat your question before I answer. Not that anybody's necessarily paying attention on the chat. But Freeman just called in to ask me Duke's chances of making the college football playoff in 2019. So have you looked at Duke's schedule for 2019? Okay, so they're playing Alabama, I believe. Okay, so that's going to be difficult. Let's give them about a 3% chance of winning that game. So that's probably 0-1 right there. Who are they playing in the other division, in the Atlantic Division? Do you see it right there?
Wait, what?
Who does Duke play in the Atlantic Division? There are two divisions in the ACC. They play everyone in their division. Oh, they play Syracuse, and then they always play Wake Forest. So they get a bit of a break there. That's good. They could certainly win those two games, and they could win the Coastal to make the college football playoff. Well, if they lose to Alabama and make it respectable, let's say they lose by 2 touchdowns, but they don't get blown out, and then they win the conference. That's the key. They've got to win the conference. They've got to win the conference. And they've got a nice schedule. So the schedule works in their favor as long as they play Alabama competitively. The schedule works in their favor playing Wake Forest and Syracuse. So do they have a good chance of making the college football playoff? No. But this is probably, as long as they play Alabama competitively, a schedule that sets up favorably for them. But I'm not thinking too much about 2019. I see that you've got a lead in the second quarter against Pitt, 21-10 right now.
I'm watching the game right now.
Yeah, how do they look?
It looks pretty good. Damn, no, pretty good.
Yeah. Good. I guess we'll have to increase the Duke football coverage here. All right, Freeman. I appreciate the call. Thank you so much.
Duke also plays Notre Dame at home.
Oh, they've got Notre Dame next year. Wow, that's a tough non-conference schedule. That is, it's got to be one of the toughest in the nation. Nobody else is playing Alabama and Notre Dame. Okay, that's. So if you're telling me, you're asking me their opportunity is great because they play a soft conference schedule, relatively speaking, and they've got two huge matchups outside the conference where they can look impressive. If they could beat one of those two teams, and play competitive against the other one, if they could upset Notre Dame and play competitive against Alabama, that is huge on their resume. Huge. All right, Freeman, thanks for the call. Enjoy the game. Is that game on the ACC network? Oh, is it? Oh, it's probably on your regional box because I don't think it's on here. All right, Freeman. I appreciate the calling. You have a good afternoon. Got some Duke football representation now. It's tremendous. Don't watch my predictions. If you have to see my prediction video, just delete it or whatever you do. It's awful. All right, let's see what's going on with Penn State and Iowa. Still leads 14-7, and I got to get back focused on Georgia, Florida. All right, where are we? Third and 1 for Florida. You know, Florida's going to lose this game by 40, or so I heard.
Manage your quarterback. Do things that your team does well. We got to put our players in position to succeed. This year, paying off. The exception of a couple of missed throws, the interception was playing well. Snap, hits it. Pierce wrapped up the previous by Tim Crowder. Test your knowledge right now with today's Aflac trivia question.
Oh, the Aflac trivia question. See what we got here. 5 Heisman Trophy winners have played for these two teams. Who is the only player with a losing record in this series? Well, I don't keep track of these. So the 5 Heisman Trophy winners would be Herschel Walker, Steve Spurrier, Tim Tebow, Danny Werfel. Who did I miss for Georgia? Probably somebody way back. Tebow, Werfel, Spurrier, Walker. Who am I missing? 5 Heisman Trophy winners. Huh. Will Greer might be the next one. Spurrier, Werfel. Spurrier's a good guess. Yeah, he would be a good guess back in the 60s. I'm trying to think. I'm missing one of the 5. Spurrier, Werfel, Tebow, Walker. Garrison Hurst didn't win a Heisman. Obviously, the recent Georgia backs have not won a Heisman. Testaverde played for Miami.
This is it. How's the camera? It's not just a camera. This has the power of.
It's got to be somebody way back. I remember all my Heisman players back to about the mid-60s. We got Tebow, Victor. Tebow, Spurrier, Walker, Werfel. Oh, thanks for looking it up. I do remember that. Swampy McGee, nice work there. Frank Sinkwich, 1942. The name rings the bell. 1942. Is Trace McSorley still not playing? It looks like Tommy Stevens is the quarterback for Penn State, and they're moving the ball. So they could be inspired by this, having to kind of fight uphill without Trace McSorley. Iowa leads 14-7. Penn State at their own 25. Demaria Crockett just scored a touchdown, and Mizzou leads 7-3. What videos would you guys like to see early next week to wrap up the weekend? Should we do like a college football playoff scenario? Should I predict what the college football playoff rankings will be before Tuesday? This ball should have been caught. Wasn't the best throw in the world, but it should have been caught. It was still catchable. The ball hit him right between the 8 and the 2. So Florida messed up that chance. Catch the ball. Predict the rankings. All right. 1942, Georgia 75, Florida nothing. Huh. Sinkwich must have had a big game in that one, Swampy. All right, I need to make a list real quick of what I need to crank out for next week. Throw all this crap away. Okay. For this week, and I can't get too aggressive because I've got 4 videos to cut for SG1 Sports. He wants 3 prediction videos out of me every week, plus the betting video. And I got some business calls from MarkRogersTV this week. So maybe a little less content because we got to run this thing like a business. Been running this thing like a content machine and nothing else. I got to start making some traction. All right, Georgia with the ball. 2nd and 5. So I thought it would be interesting. Let's see if we do of course, my top 25, and then we'll predict the rankings, which may not be the best video. I got to warn you because I think differently, as you guys know, than the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. So for me to try to, I want to tell you what I think they should be, but to predict what they're going to say they should be, we'll give it a shot. And then after we see the rankings, then I could go through the scenarios because I'm going to have a better idea of what they're valuing this year. Because they value something different every year. Or actually, they wait until the last games are played, and then they explain what they value this year. Playoff scenarios. And then we'll also do, I was thinking about looking at previous college football playoff results, the first rankings, 2014 to 2017, first college football playoff rankings, and to compare them. Maybe I can get started on that tomorrow. All right, we'll do that. Plus previews and predictions and a big stop by Florida.
It's a few inches for a first down and to control the clock. It's reminiscent of going for the fake field goal against LSU. Yeah, if it works, you're a genius. But if it doesn't, you almost got a sure first down if you're in the snake.
Think about Sean Davis, the sophomore out of Miami. He made the stop that brought Cook 6 inches shy of the first down, and then he dropped Nico Hardman on the play.
Who made that play? Let me see that again.
Reminiscent of going for the fake field goal against LSU. Yeah, if it works, you're a genius. But if it doesn't, you almost got a sure first down if you're in the snake.
Think about Sean Davis, the sophomore out of Miami.
Sean Davis has made a couple big plays in this game.
Close to the 15-yard line.
Yeah, and now that puts this in just the opposite end of it. You know, it looked like Florida was going to have great field position. You see Reese 33 on the right side of your screen. Just a little bit too much. Got the hand under the shoulder pad and a takedown.
Charlie Warner. And so they do spot it right at the 15-yard line.
And I thought that Florida was going to get the ball 30, 35-yard line. Look where it ended up, 15.
Just under 4 to go and a half. Motions his man. Left side. And set the throw around the flat was coming.
Nate Stanley just got picked off. Pick six for almost a pick six for Penn State. They took it down to the 2.
Two tough defenses to score on. Georgia ranked 13th in the country, allowing 16 a game. And the Gators, 15th in the country, averaging just under 17 a game. And that's why we got a 10-7 game going so far.
Changes everything now. From Florida, the play calling. Now they're in a comfort zone where they can open up this offense and try to get points here. Before this, they're thinking, we got to try to take a little clock off and be careful. Now you say, hey, how do we get this ball up to the 50 and then a little farther for the field goal try?
They have 2 timeouts as with the Dogs. Play number 27. Franks will get it on the ground. Scott up.
Penn State just tied up Iowa.
And I wonder if these stats, the statistics that Georgia has not loved about their team this year, they only have 9 sacks. But if you go back to last year's game against Florida, in this game, they only had 10 sacks in this game. 5 in this game and ended up with 24 in the last 8 games. They caught fire in this game. And then Georgia pass rush catch fire.
Denver Walker is their top sack guy. He's the top of that defensive line. Second out of 7. Jones again, the quarterback. And he scored the first down when they put him down at long 2.
Keep Georgia's defense off balance any way you can. And Wildcat obviously is going. seconds in the half. Jones stays in there.
Oh, boy. Good recovery. They can at least punt now.
Offenses, Georgia on 30 short and Florida on 30 short. Got a little bit shoot to get a third play. And now you got to wonder why Georgia's not stopping the clock. 15 and copy that. Yeah. 42nd play. It's a mile in the air. He's got a fair catch. That's his running at the 21-yard line. So 50 seconds remaining. So Georgia's got to work, and they still got 2 timeouts. But they probably should have only had 1 timeout at this point. A little bit earlier, we tested your knowledge with the athletic trivia question, which was 5 Heisman 2 teams. Who's the only player with a losing record series?
Steve Spurrier. Good guess, boys. 1 and 2. Oh, Frankie Sinkwinch. Looks like he could lace it up today, get the job done, huh? Sinkwich. It's my guy.
Officials right now and the Georgia coaches, everybody. That punt apparently here on Skycam. Right, and I think that, remember you made the call that Rico was going to call the fair, take a fair catch. That's why he couldn't catch it. The ball just hit and dropped. The Skycam lost power, and that's part of the reason it was in the way, I guess.
USC is falling apart. 24-7 against Arizona State. 1920 to 1990. Lived a decent life there, 70 years. He was 22 when he won the Heisman. Wonder if he played in the NFL. Because, you know, Jay Berwanger, the first Heisman Trophy winner out of Chicago, he could make more money not playing in the NFL. NFL MVP in 1944. Maybe that's where I... Wow. MVP. For who?
The scoreboard of the Superdome, having done a lot of Saints games, and that's pretty hard to do too. And I don't think in Dallas, do they recheck when they do that? And to move their scoreboard up because they were hitting.
This South Florida Houston game's 21-all with 3 minutes left in the first half. All right, what's going on here? They hit the sky cam. How did Iowa get down to the 30? Penn State's starting to play a lot better.
Townsend just nailed that one. And Rico is always dangerous. You kick it to him.
After review, the ball did hit the camera wire. Therefore, we will replay 4th down.
And it should go back to
So let's see how this changes things. Georgia had a fair catch at the 20.
Halftime report is coming up in less than a minute. Houston and Gus and PJ, Adam. Will all be along with scores and highlights from games earlier.
And they have reset the clock to 1 minute.
Sinkwich served in both the United States Merchant Marines and the United States Air Force. That's what these boys did back then. Navy, you got to respect that. Knee injury received while playing for the 2nd Air Force service team in 1945 hampered his playing career when he returned to professional football in 46 and 47. Oh, this might be. Just missed it. It's pretty much going to turn out to be the same thing. Reasonable gum. You say sinkwich. I hear sandwich in my head. I kind of think a combination of sandwich and sinkhole. Sinkhole, sandwich, sinkwich. And I want to say sink winch. Sinkwich. Sinkwich. Duke is just barely winning at halftime 21-17 against Pitt. Freeman with the update for us. Iowa kicked a field goal, 17-14. I would like to see Iowa win. Oh my goodness. Was anyone covering him? Obviously not. Yes, busted coverage against a good tight end. Georgia at the 48.
So now you get Georgia trying to throw a 5-yard pass, and they get a big play out of it. And all of a sudden, they're in position to get field goal attack.
We need about 10 more yards to give Ringo Black a trip or crack at it.
Think about it. You try to throw a 5-yard, you get 27 yards.
2nd and 4 here. Backside of Gator throwing 6. From what's left now, back across the middle.
Good throw.
So you do not see Jake Fromm throw the ball a lot in the middle to the tight end. Top of it. And he threaded that.
23 more. Fromm looking for more. Out in the front.
4 straight passes. Canada.
15 seconds left, 2 timeouts.
I did not see the Iowa State game, Freeman. Just saw the score. Oh, they took him out of the game. Throw it to him again.
We saved hundreds on our car insurance when we switched to Geico. This is how it made me feel. It was like that feeling when you're mowing the lawn on a sunny day, and without even
I've got to eat something.
one last trip. It's exactly what
The sandwich is named after its supposed inventor, John Montagu, 4th Earl of Sandwich, 1718 to 1792, a British statesman. Swampy is all full of knowledge today. Nobody is watching the Southern Miss Charlotte game. Freeman, you keep track of the group of 5 for us. We got Georgia, Florida. We got Penn State, Iowa. We got Houston, South Florida. I know that's a group of 5, but there's a ranked team involved. So there's not too many great games because I think most of the Big 12 games are garbage right now. Aren't anything too interesting. Okay, here we go. Out of bounds. So they've got a play and then a kick. So they've got one shot to the end zone And then a kick. Look at, oh, nice defensive play. C.J. McWilliams.
Goes for the jump ball of McWilliams. If he got both hands on that, would have caught this ball. Kept his left hand on Riley.
Oh, they're going to try to sneak in one more play. Okay. I like this. They only took 3 seconds for that play. Why not? You would have run the ball on first down and done what? Called a timeout. I guess they've got one there. Navy, keeping everybody straight, keeping Freeman straight. Yeah, we're watching Florida, Georgia. I should probably put a subtitle of Iowa, Penn State. That's my second game. I like the Oklahoma score. I'm good with that. Iowa's got the ball back. I don't know what happened there. Penn State was driving. Now Iowa's got the ball back. Yeah, it's 35 with 3.5 minutes left in the first half. They can't run the ball. I've noticed that Iowa can't run on Penn State. Georgia hits the field goal. Rodrigo gets the job done. We're basically at the half. They'll have to kick off, but they're at the half. When is CBS going to change that music? Not that I want them to, but it's just that music has been their theme music forever. Yeah, Houston up 28-21. Watch Duke Pitt, Mark Rogers TV. It's halftime. Let's see if there's even, let me see. Yeah, let's watch a little Duke Pitt for Freeman. If I can find it. I've got to find to see. Usually that ACC game is on here somewhere. There it is. It's on the Yes Network. So the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network is carrying the Duke Pitt game. But they're at halftime, so I'm not going to get to see them anyway unless they get ready to start the second half here. Oh, of course, it's on Channel 15. Freeman's excited about Charlotte going to a bowl game. Wazoo was a top 10 contender. Okay. All right, I've got to eat something. I'm like about to pass out. This is what I've had to eat today, a banana and some OJ. I've completely forgotten to eat. Not that I've got anything good to eat here. But you guys, excuse me if I eat in front of you. You guys can, of course, eat in front of me. That's what we should do. If we had the technology where we could punch back and forth to different people's cameras, which obviously we do have that technology, but not to that extent. I couldn't have, I've only got 16 people on here right now, but like last night when we had close to 100, I think we maxed out at 92 last night. We couldn't, obviously. YouTube doesn't have the capability. I think they can only handle like 4 or 6. Let's see what we got out of that video. We need to do much better on the views. All right.
years to come.
Every tailgate starts with Bojangles. Got an 8, 12, or 20-piece tailgate special. Bojangles. It's Bojangles.
They need more space.
Is your mom in there?
Since that is moved in plan,
Yep.
let us help with your plan.
We can do that.
Well, that sounds like a plan.
Start a plan that flexes with
Last night's live streams at 6:42.
Attention blood thinner users. Thousands of blood thinner users may have been exposed to serious risk by these dangerous medications. If you are loved one,
Yeah, we're gonna have to make some changes on the old channel. We'll get to it.
Call Nightline Legal to
We will get to it.
experienced attorney for a free consultation. If we don't win, there is no fee. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-741-9125. Again, that's 1-800-741-9125.
Do you have osteoarthritis in one or both knees? If you have osteoarthritis in one or both knees, are you on Medicare, Obamacare, or other health insurance? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a prescription strength solution for osteoarthritis in the knees, covered by Medicare at little to absolutely no cost to you. Our experienced staff will work with your doctor and handle all of your Medicare or insurance paperwork. Find out for free by calling the Back and Knee Pain Center.
Call 1-800-785-1378.
Gators Entertainment and Sports Network. Duke's got a 21-17 lead as we welcome you back to Heinz Field in the Coastal Division of the ACC. And our coverage of ACC football continues with the Hardy's halftime report. Back with James Bates. West Durham. Duke's got 314 yards of offense. But Pittsburgh has managed to stay in this with big plays too, James.
Well, Duke hoping to get 7 more and add on to that point total, but the big fumble there just before half. And they've got to hang on to the football because Pitt is coming at them with the big plays right and left. Kenny Pickett opened the scoring for Pittsburgh, a 30-yard romp into the end zone, and it's 7-7. And how about the Lee Carter, the freshman from West Palm, Florida, the jet sweep getting the edge and getting it all the way down near the goal line. The big plays weren't done, though. You had Quadri Olson has been fantastic for catching the football and running it. And here goes Maurice French, the speedster. A great kickoff return, man. 2 touchdowns, return footballs on kicks so far this year. And there's that fumble we talked about, Daniel Jones. And that was a 50-yard touchdown catch by French.
Now I'm getting into a musical argument. I shouldn't have been sucked into this.
Big game in the Coastal Division. A lot of implications. Duke by 4, second half kick is next.
I'm just waiting for this Duke Pitt second half kickoff here.
Well, we're not only fans, but we added Southern 4G Wi-Fi, CarPlay compatible, receipt reminder, team driver technology, and a 7-inch tag and touchscreen. We also made it.
Whoa. It's a Chevy.
You're right, this is the Chevy, but all those features come standard.
It's pretty much everything mine's not.
What market you want? Current qualified competitive lessees can get this 2019 Chevy Equinox for around $199.
I hate when people make ignorant comments when they don't know their facts. You know, have your opinion, but know your facts.
I would get muscle cramps usually 4 to 6 times a week, indiscriminately, be out of my sleep, could be while working, and then I learned about this product called TheraWorks Relief. With TheraWorks Relief, I have never had a cramp anytime during any of my very long days. TheraWorks Relief has made
All right.
muscle cramp period.
What we got here?
Relief is my choice for preventing and relieving muscle cramps.
We got to see the end of the Iowa Penn State first half here. How you guys doing here? Charlotte won! Woo! Yeah! Bowl contender. 4-4. I got excited even before you told me to get excited, Freeman. How about that? We were working together on that. I was way ahead of you. If my Gators ain't shoot themselves in the foot, we'd be up. Jalen Pope. I'm going to go through the live chat. So anybody that I've not seen before in the live chat, you know what the deal is. I want to hear how long you've been watching, and who you root for. So we've got Jalen Pope, who obviously roots for the Gators. Jalen, how long have you been watching Mark Rogers TV? And how much do you watch, and what would you like to see? But most of all, how long have you been watching? Freeman, how long have you been watching Mark Rogers TV? You just came out of nowhere like 2 days ago. Can Michigan make the playoffs? Yes, Joe, they can make the playoffs. And Joe, this is the first time I've seen you on Mark Rogers TV as well. Let us know. You obviously, I'm guessing, are a Michigan fan. It's not obvious just because you're asking about Michigan, but I believe you're a Michigan fan. But Jalen, okay, I've been watching you for about a year, and honestly, you have the perfect amount of content. Well, thank you, Jalen. It can do much better though. That's why I ask these questions, because we're not growing as well as we need to. We need to grow a lot bigger. And I know part of that has to do with the set looks like garbage, and I need a better mic and all that kind of stuff. And I know a lot of that is analytics, YouTube analytics, that I don't understand. I've not gotten into it. I shouldn't say I don't understand them. I haven't gotten into. We want to know Joe's team as well. I believe Joe's a Michigan fan. How long have you been watching, Joe? Swampy, thank you. Appreciate it. Anybody watching the Iowa-Penn State game right now? Yes, I am, Freeman. Freeman, you're all over the place. But, yeah, that's my second game, Iowa-Penn State. I've got it right here. Iowa was driving. Yeah, they got a 1st and 10 at the 50, unless Penn State just picked off. I don't know what's going on. I believe. Wait a minute. Did Penn State just get a turnover? It looks like they did. Anyway, we'll see after the timeout. YouTube analytics are all screwed up, Mark. Don't take them for decision-making. Mark, who's your team? I'm an Ohio State fan. So Joe's going to be done watching me now. This is my biggest source of pride, Joe, is that people can't figure out who I root for. Freeman's dad's an Oregon State fan. I feel bad for him. Israel, Mark Rogers, what does it take for Miami to make it to the ACC championship? Okay, hang on just a second. So Penn State's got a 2nd and 1. They got the ball somehow. There must have been a turnover. Nice tackle by Parker Hess there. All right, we got the second half kickoff, Freeman. Duke's got the second half kickoff, and they brought it out to the 20. You guys keep me honest on Florida, Georgia. Hound Dog, I've been watching your Tennessee videos since 16, only recently started watching the streams. The first Ohio State game I remember would be the 1976 Michigan game. They lost 22-0. But I don't remember much about I don't remember anything else about the 76 season. And they actually beat Colorado in the Orange Bowl that year, and I don't remember anything about that. I didn't see it. My family was not into college football or Ohio State. And then the 77 season, I got really into it late in the season. The Michigan game was big. The Sugar Bowl against Alabama. The 78 season was the first season that, like, start to finish, I was totally into and understood what was going on. 78 was kind of my year of getting into sports. It was my first baseball season. It was my first NFL season, my first college football season. Yes, Michigan State could beat Ohio State. Mark, how many times have Ohio and Alabama played? Hint, under 5 times. Yes, Israel. They played in the playoffs in 2014. Ohio State won 42-35. They played in the 95 Citrus Bowl. Alabama won on a late Sherman Williams touchdown, 24-17 from Jay Barker. They played in the 86 Kickoff Classic. Alabama won 16-10. And they played in the 78 Sugar Bowl. Alabama won 35-6. Which was the second to last season for Woody Hayes. I'm trying to watch some Duke football here. They just made a nice play. This guy might be gone. He's gone. So they just threw a little out. The wide receiver juked the DB. He was gone. That's right. You know your stuff. Yes, I tend to know my stuff. Thank you, Israel. Appreciate it. People thought Wisconsin would win the Big Ten. Mark, Iowa's punter threw a pass to an Iowa offensive lineman for a touchdown. Number 90 was the receiver. Well, they didn't do it just now. They just gave up a field goal. When did that happen? Do you think Notre Dame's a fraud? What's a fraud? So a fraud, meaning that no, they're a good team. Are they a fraud for elite status to challenge Alabama? Yeah, probably. Yeah. Notre Dame. Okay. I believe that Alabama and Clemson are better than Notre Dame. I believe LSU is better than Notre Dame. I believe that Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Texas are very comparable. Washington, possibly. I believe Notre Dame is one of the 10 best teams in the country and that they're in the back half of the 10.
Well, that sounds like a plan.
Mark, do you think we will beat LSU next week? Yes. I've not picked the game officially, but I would say Alabama's going to win that game by 10 to 14 points. Yes, I know Notre Dame beat Michigan. We've talked about this a number of times. Brady the GOAT. See, you're another guy that I've never seen on here, so I want to know who you root for and how long you've been watching. So, and Coy Bott, I've never seen you on here before. You must be a Florida fan. I want to know how long you've been watching and what do you want to see. All right, so let's understand something. Definitely, I am all into head-to-head. It means everything. Head-to-head. Michigan played Notre Dame. Michigan fans, the Michigan perspective has nothing that they can say about Notre Dame. They played head-to-head. They lost. I don't care where the game was, how close the game was. Notre Dame won the game. But understand that if we're talking logically and trying to rate and rank teams and talk about the discussion, that these teams only played once. So Michigan, Notre Dame, they only played once. We know that Alabama beat Ole Miss. And we know that if Alabama and Ole Miss played 10 times, that Alabama would beat them 10 times. Michigan and Notre Dame are very close. They can only play one time, so obviously it's an all-or-nothing situation. But we know that they're close. My point is also that the best team doesn't always win the game. And I'm not arguing that Michigan's better than Notre Dame, but we can play that in circles. We can go in circles about who beat, unless you're undefeated, who beat who, and go all around. And I can make a case that Ball State's better than anybody in the country, going by that, the transitive property. So you understand that Clemson went to a college football playoff after losing to Syracuse, and they won a national championship after losing to Pitt. So I understand that Notre Dame won head-to-head, and therefore they will always, as long as they've got the same record as Michigan or better, they will be ranked higher in my rankings because I honor head-to-head as much as I possibly can. Antoine, they caught Michigan with a new quarterback and a new system. Yeah, the argument can be made that teams are different in November than they were in September. And people make that argument to me all the time. Sometimes they'll say, for example, I went nuts, as you can imagine, when Ohio State went to the college football playoff in 2016. They beat Oklahoma by 3 touchdowns. It could have been worse than that. They played in a better conference. They had a better resume. But just because Oklahoma beat Auburn, an 8-5 Auburn team in the Sugar Bowl, and Ohio State got destroyed in the college football playoff, Oklahoma finished higher in the rankings with the same record. And I said, this makes no sense. Ohio State beat them head-to-head and blew them out head-to-head. And people were telling me, well, that was back in September, and they're different teams now. And I said, I understand that they're different teams now, but we should base the ranking on the complete resume and not judge, well, they might be a little bit different team. It's not a momentum thing. Mark Rogers, look at this comment. Notre Dame barely beat Ball State and Vanderbilt. Exactly. Yep. Yes, they did. All right, Pitt's moving the ball. Is Florida and Georgia? They've got to be back on the field, right? Sorry, Freeman. Didn't really focus too much on this Duke-Pitt game. I would like to. I'll watch any college football game, but Duke did get the long touchdown, and they will be 6-2 if they can hold on and win this game. So that's good for them. I'll throw it on down here on the laptop. I'll throw the Pitt game on here. If I can, I probably don't have that option, actually. I can put on, yeah, I do have that option. Okay. All right, number one ND fan. Nobody listened? Nobody? Yeah, Falcons Fury. I do agree that Florida looks, they have played a little bit better. Like if we charted every play and went through the entire first half, Florida has won more plays than Georgia. But Felipe Franks missed a wide open receiver downfield. Well, he's missed a few, and he threw that bad pick. So, and they had the fumble. So,
this was an anti-Semitic act.
Notre Dame will get dismantled by Alabama again if they make it in. Vandy is 4-5. They beat Arkansas 48-31. Swampy, Nebraska quarterback Adrian Martinez completed 15 of 22 passes for 213 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception in Saturday's 45-9 victory over Bethune-Cookman. Good call by Joe right there. Notre Dame, look out for Northwestern. NCIS Fanatic 21, how you doing?
We're still digging into Bauer's background, but social media accounts that appear linked to the suspect were filled with racist and anti-Semitic rants. Bauer may be charged as early as tonight.
Let's see if I can find anybody else in the chat that I've never seen before. Oh, Brady the GOAT. You're a Texas Tech fan. Brady the GOAT, I'm sorry, not a whole lot of Texas Tech coverage. If you would have been on here 3 to 4 years ago, we used to do a Big 12 breakdown each and every Wednesday night. It was like an hour, 90 minutes of just Big 12 talk. And I had 2 different people from the SB Nation platform for Texas Tech football on a regular basis. But I can't cover everyone. I try. Joe, do you think Michigan will beat Penn State? Yes, I do. They're just playing much better. The defensive front's awesome. The defense as a whole is awesome. They're just locking down on receivers, and I just think Penn State is just Penn State's defense isn't that good. They're playing really well from what I can tell in watching the game against Iowa here. They haven't given up those 17 points. That's mostly come on special teams and defense. So the Penn State defense is playing well today, but they haven't played well most of the time. Mark Rogers, is it possible to have live video in a small screen while you are talking in your midweek streams? All right, so you guys probably see people do reacts videos where they put, video in a small screen. So I don't have the capability to do that right now. Maybe I do in iMovie. I might be able to do that in iMovie. You guys realize that the more sophisticated content I do, that means the less content I'm going to do, because that stuff takes time to edit and break down. We just got to get on here and talk. Need some water. We just kind of get on here and talk. And so to do more elaborate videos takes more time. So I would be doing less videos and less content and talking about less teams. Now to do it live, that would take some serious production software to do it live. And then the other thing to keep in mind, pitches for a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to make it 28-25. The other thing to keep in mind is that there's a rights issue. And I heard another YouTuber talking about this recently, even with college football, that there are rights issues, and so that they've shown video and then had it pulled down. Owen, I've been listening since preseason. Good to see you, Owen. I don't know that I've seen your handle, but thanks. First time commenting, so I haven't. I root for West Virginia and Clemson. Yeah, Navy Thomas iMovie can do it. Next level. All right. Oh, Kadarius Toney out to midfield. So we're going to lock in on the game here. But you guys all have some good stuff here. No, I'm not making a prediction on Ohio State, Michigan. It's weeks away. Michigan's playing better right now. Freeman, I've got the Duke Pitt game right here on the laptop until Iowa and Penn State get back on the field. And you guys have a lot of great suggestions, but you guys realize I work 50 hours a week at another job. So I crank out a ton of content, and to do more or better is going to be a struggle. So anyway, all right. Jordan Scarlett for 7. Okay, Florida fans, you got to feel good. You made all these mistakes in the first half, and you're right in the game here.
Execution on defense and on the offensive side of the ball. He said this is actually the worst execution they have played so far this season, and they're still in it. So he said as long as we start clicking, things will work for us.
It's a nice little option play. I don't think Frank's ever wanted to keep that ball. Yeah, Danielson just said it. He runs the option like I ran the option. He never wanted to keep that ball. It was just a late pitch. There you go. Swampy, thank you. Appreciate it. Freeman, Oregon State gets killed every week. So now they get a 1st and 10 at the 36. He ripped that throw. Now, he looked like a quarterback with confidence on that throw. He ripped that thing in the seam. That looked pretty. That was pretty. Yeah, he got it there in time. Yeah, he got it there just in time. Who returned the kick? I forget now. It was Swain, right? Oh, Kadarius Toney.
This isn't a liner. Well, to be clear, it's an invisible liner from Smile Direct Book. Our liners take teeth like these and transform them into those.
Okay.
They discreetly take this and turn it into that. We send your liners directly to you. In an average of 6 months, you can have a lifetime supply of confidence. Join more than 250,000 satisfied runners who got a smile they love for only $80 a month at SmileDirectClub.com.
here. And if you get lost, just hit me on the old one. Tom's my best friend, but ever since he bought a new house, it's a $10 cover up. Connect one more like his dad. How we doing? Hi there, Tom. Can we get a round of
Just $5 medium one-time pizza, stuffed crust, nuts, breadsticks, blown out ones, pasta, you simple name with $5 butter. That's size for your pizza. Each, choose 2 or more $5 each. No out pizzas with butter. When your workout ends, ours begins. Power better. The core power. Efficient protein types of Georgia athletics. No, please don't do that. It's the most season. Let's leave this one called the new tournament in the eyes. It's Tuesday.
Trends, well, the trend just changed at 3 o'clock. Let me tell you that right now. We play last drive. Rocking 36 yards for the touchdown. With that convergence today. See how they've done. But the complexion of the entire game in a minute 25 seconds change. Tony's kickoff return and then a 3-play drive for the score. And Georgia will try to bring one. So, go hard.
Stop. His eyes go left to hold the safety because he knows he wants to go to the middle of the field. If this looks similar, it's the same coverage that Georgia was in. Through that strike to be quarter backfield coverage. He held the safety to his left this time. 2 of them to his right. Opposite side of the field on the same coverage.
No, Duke just scored. All right. 1st and 10.
And Jerry said at the opening of the game, we mentioned at halftime, Georgia would be in good shape if those 2 guys told them about 40 times. Here comes Holyfield again. First down, 44. First guy in the stands today, I think. He was here early. He didn't want to miss one of us.
Hey, Dennis, sorry to hear that. Your son got hurt today, twisted his ankle, got put out of the playoff. So the playoff, we talking about, we're talking football?
Yeah, and Ben Cleveland is actually dressed for this game. This is the first time he's been available to an offensive line, but he was telling me that he's surprised if he could go.
Oh, boy.
Spins his way to about the 16.
As we watch this, we've seen no Justin Fields. Does it not appear that Jake Fromm's more comfortable in this game? Yeah. He just seems to be more himself.
Navy, I still have to get to Patreon, actually. I've got an account, but I'm not doing anything. It's a long story, but I'll get it worked out. I'm trying to shoot a video, and I've hired an editor to do it with like tweets on it and YouTube comments, so it looks good. Whoa, that was serious. Great catch. Navy Thomas.
It's exactly what he did. And Rodriguez with the extra point. Georgia, 3-minute drive, 72 yards. Jake Fromm, as Gary said, looking calm, cool, and collected. He could have much better than that. Second to number 9 today. Georgia is back in front.
Actually, I prefer an ice.
Let's see. All right, Freeman, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to put the Iowa game back on here.
Is it multi and full body? Because I like it all.
You should be ready to start playing again.
My play answer was in your ear all game long. The more praise that you on your team, the more excited you get. Now, you don't hear the upstairs toilet overflowing, and I don't mean with confidence. You wanted a bowl season? You got a bowl season. If I can show up on game day, imagine what can happen the rest of the week. So get all state. You better protect.
Freeman, you'll be all right.
I'm a college football fan. One of my game day rituals is to stand the entire game. I'm so nervous to sit. We had the biggest events of the game, catered by Chick-fil-A.
Trays and nuggets for the win.
Because we won the game, the very next week we both came and did it again.
I saw how important it was to Harris. What can I do to add that personal touch?
She busts out all the plates, orange cups, blue cups. The place went crazy. She is my good luck charm for big football games.
Make Chick-fil-A your game day ritual with the Chick-fil-A app. Earn points and gain rewards.
The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Chick-fil-A.
Utah State's got a pretty good team this year.
Twice today. The last one catch, 72-yard drive in 3 minutes and 2 seconds. And what opening 4.5 minutes we had. Both sides.
These teams are going to score more than we thought they would, or at least I did, and most people that I talked to thought this game would be in the low 20s.
Watch him snatch the ball and then rip the ball. You don't want to bring it down to the quarterback. They practice all the time. I remember a year ago, Jake Fromm was really comfortable with Javon Wims toward the end of the year catching those balls. But how but now is that guy?
2 touchdowns today. 4 on the season, and it's giving Georgia the lead back. So now Gators, let's see what they have. He was in the middle somewhere. He was one of the first guys to make contact. Some interesting stuff today again. He's got out you when we had earlier this season. The option is used again effectively today with Franks on the pitch. 79.
D. Ryan, big run.
The shutdown corner. The corner's name is not mentioned. He's doing the job.
Louisville gave up 56 today to Wake. They gave up, what, 63 to Georgia Tech?
Team's been stopped this quarter.
Nope.
This one might actually be the trouble. Return. Even though the flip the ankle were a little sore earlier, nothing wrong with it there. Georgia,
What if you didn't have to pay a premium?
Danger time for Florida here after giving up that big punt return. They only put up 51 on Louisville, while Georgia Tech put up 66 and Wake Forest put up 56. And Alabama had like 38 at half.
You can find a price, but you can't find a better paint guarantee. Now get their Premium Plus starting at $26.98. Home Depot, more safe.
Richard, having issues, man. No TV, no computer. Missouri was up 7-3. I don't know what it is right now. Let's see what you guys have.
Just last week.
McConnell said he wants to make some cuts to Social Security and Medicare.
Medicare, Social Security, and Medicaid.
Big cuts to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
The Republicans just admitted it. They're going to make
Mizzou 14-3. Okay. Oh, Trace McSorley just took one to the house. Look at that. Trace McSorley gone.
Sorry, Aaron. I know this
51 yards. Wow.
We're defending your truck now, so State Farm, you can pack those khakis and go. Who's protecting my house? Should I unpack my khakis? No, you keep those khakis packed.
Monday, the word is out. The neighborhood has star power.
You need to get woke. She's black and I'm proud.
Entertainer next week with Star, a new episode, CBS Monday.
Let's take a look at the GNC game changer, the one that changed the scoreboard a few months ago. Big Prom, second touchdown pass of the day. Here on Holland. That was a 16-yarder in the first half. The previous was a 12-yarder that changed the scoreboard. Two guys have hooked up both times on third down. And two beautiful throws from Jake Fromm. Was a heck of a lot better day than weeks ago against LSU. There it is. You see him have his confidence stepping into those throws. Remember that all sticks up. Florida's secondary is playing shorthanded now with C.J. Henderson down. That means both projected starting corners for Florida. C.J. Henderson and Marco Wilson are off the field. They're going with the true freshman, number 21, and number 12, C.J. McCollum. They're good for the first down. Do they follow you or do they go for the big play? You want to take a shot? Swift is in the backfield. From fakes and goes deep and over the head of everybody. Out of bounds. Incomplete. That's only his fourth incompletion of the day. And it wasn't that tricky, was it? No. They did go after the freshman, though, number 21, Trey D. That's the goal here.
And if you guys or want to go to an open house shop, yeah, what's up, guys? If you guys are wanting to go look at open houses, hey, check out the link at my profile. There's a good one in Midtown if you're thinking in the Midtown area. If not, just hey, private message me if you're not yet pre-approved, and I'll get you there since you're joining on the night. All right, guys, have a great one.
Yeah, I'll have a great one as soon as we get together.
3 out of 7 for Georgia so far today. The tight end Nana has been his favorite target. He's in the slot group of 3 receivers to the right. Here comes a speed rush from the right, and he's got a lot of freedom. Here comes a slide at about the 37 with a Georgia first down. He must have played baseball because that was a nice pop-up slide right there. He's a great baseball. Yeah, he's going to the second base. Man-to-man coverage combo, man-to-man. He knows it. Gets the first down. Pop-up slide. Brought him down. Second throws over the middle. It's not again for the 5th time, but the third one. And Georgia's going tempo right at him now. And that's what Jake Fromm loves to do. He's back to throw again. Lost one. Nana's got another. Flags are down. Nana puts out of bounds inside the 10 on the 7. He push off Juwan Taylor, number 29. That's the question.
I like that USC score. They were down 24-7. Okay, offensive pass interference. Let's get back invested here.
He needed it either, because he was going full speed and Taylor was stopped dead. That would have been a patient had he not been pushed on. What a difference. It was down around the 7-yard line where the penalty comes back to the 46. Second 18. Nice job by Deshaun Joseph to hold up just enough. And what ability he has. Watch Joseph. He fakes the blitz. Okay, he's looking to the side here, but he blitz. He's coming up for the quarterback. Watch out. He changes. What? He looks at the ball, makes the tackle. So you got quarterback, make the tackle. This is where Georgia didn't want to be. 3rd down and 18. You know that a lot of the big Jefferson and those guys are going to be coming. Tight end to the 7 on the right side. He throws
Oh, DeAndre Swift's got a chance. Nope.
This year against Randy, his career longs 55 against Oklahoma. Inside the 10 this year, the freshman got a big leg. Sometimes doesn't quite sure where it's going. And Dan Mullen took a timeout because Florida is not Florida with the eligible receivers that were in the game for Georgia. From 4:19 away, third quarter. Georgia with a lead for Jacksonville.
So they're going to punt. Let's see, they're at the 30? No, like the 30. Where are they? The 33?
Do you just bring it? Or do you bring it all?
Iowa really has not played well in this game after that quick flurry out of the gate. They were up 12-0. They've been outscored 24-5 since then. Yeah, so they're up 20-14. They've got an excellent field goal kicker. I don't know his stats in regards to distance. And I'd like to know where the ball is. It's at about the 33, right? That would be a 50-yard field goal. Too long for a field goal?
Sweet and smoky and Southern TLC chicken sandwiches. One has sweet pickles, shredded lettuce, smoky backyard sauce.
Iowa's 2 for 10 on third downs. They've got a 3rd and 5. Nathan Stanley missed his target. Now, this is the thing with Nathan Stanley. When this guy's on his game, I think he's really good, but there's too many of those kind of throws out of Nathan Stanley. He had a crossing route to Fant. Well, he threw the other guy. But he had the crossing route to Vandenberg or Nick Easley. And my goodness, he missed him by a mile. He was right in front of him. He had a crossing route about 8 yards in front of him. Iowa's got 2 safeties. Oh, they're at the 36. That would be a 53-yarder. Yeah, Fant's going to be an NFL tight end. Yes. The Jeremy Pruitt dynasty. It's going to take a little time. All right, Penn State's got the ball at their own 14. They had only compiled at Penn State 111 yards of total offense before their last drive when they got 77. So Iowa's defense was doing the job. All right, back here, Georgia's punting. And it's going to be perfectly placed at the 1. So that answered our question right there. Okay, this is a key part of the game right here. There's not going to be a whole lot of points scored in this game. And Florida cannot give up a 2-score lead. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Wow. That probably is the game. Outstanding Cruise, who do you root for? How long you been watching? I haven't seen your name before.
I think the ball was kicked out of his hand before he hit.
Oh, yeah. That was a great play. Yes, McGee's had a great game.
This time you go shotgun so you don't get stepped on. And what do? You fumble the ball. It was called a fumble. I don't see anything to overturn that. I do not think it's down. He's down at the 1, Georgia ball.
Interesting. Oh, yeah. Wow, unless his backside was on the ground at that point. Yeah. Wow.
The first 2 games of the year for Georgia, he didn't even travel. He was a scout team player. He's lost some weight, and he's plugged up the middle of that run game team. After a win, we're all not fan.
Yep. Good play. And they got a flag, possibly. You would think that would be a hold or maybe a procedure. Oh, yeah. Where are they? Oh, boy. Yeah. First down. They had a big play. They had a big play to push them back to the 4, and they screwed up. Yeah. Joseph screwed up. They did the same thing. They had somebody knife through from the outside and get a hold of Holofield before he got going. Is Kelly Bryant better than Felipe Franks? That's a toss-up. Can Iowa get a drive going? This is going to be a touch. No! Florida's D. Say what you will about Florida's offense. They've got the receivers. They've got the backs. And the offensive line's a lot better. This is a good team. They're a good team. Florida's a top 15 team. But, man, the defense is serious. They have pushed this back to what? 3rd and goal at the 5. Even after they blew the first down play. Nathan Stanley just got sacked. He held the ball too long. Here we go. Good defensive play by McMillan. Oh, they threw a flag on him? Really? Bryant is better than Franks. Franks is error prone. Franks is Tannehill of the Dolphins. Too wobbly. Huge. McWilliams. I think I called him McMillan. McWilliams. What did he do? I don't know how many unsportsmanlike conduct penalties I would get if I was a coach, if I had to put up with crappy calls like that. My goodness, you're trying to win a football game, and your defense is playing their rear ends off, and you get that kind of a call.
The size of this Georgia offensive line is gigantic. The biggest offensive lines in college football, and they cannot build that Gator cut. Franks had a touchdown over the top earlier. Brown tried to bulldoze his way, couldn't get there. Second down.
Pelini. Yeah. Maybe a Woody. Yeah, how they call these? It's whenever they feel like blowing the whistle. Nobody's ever getting tackled on a stack. He's not going to hit the ground. They just blow the whistle whenever they feel like it. Third and goal. I know, Navy Thomas. Don't take me literally. Oh, man. Look at Florida's defense. They are holding two. I don't know who's gotten the ball on every play. I know Holyfield did a bunch of times. But this time. Yeah, it was Holyfield again. Those boys can play. Now, maybe you might want to run something a little bit different than just into the line every time. You might want to do something slightly different than that. That's a win for Florida. Oh, playing the king. That was a great stand by Florida. Great. What did they? They had two penalties. So they held them first down, another first down, second, third, the penalty for the PI, first, second, third. They held them 7 plays inside the 1 yard line. One of your favorite Elvis songs? Yeah, it's in my top 100. Outstanding cruise. This is unbelievable. What the Florida stand? Yeah. Duke lost in the ACC championship game in 2013. Yes, 49-7. Was it 49-7? For some reason, I don't think that score is quite right. Check, Freeman. Check on the score. I believe it was 45-10. That's my guess. 27-17 Penn State. They were down 12-0. This is killing my pick because Nate Stanley can't hit the broadside of a barn. Every Elvis song is a classic. There really isn't a top list for me. You and me. Hound Dog. Is that why you're named Hound Dog? I'm a big Elvis fan. 45-7. 45-7. Thanks, Clemson alum. I knew 49-7 wasn't quite right.
We got about one play left in the third quarter here in Jacksonville. TIAA backfield. Dan was still very animated officials after the series. And it looked like he was complaining still about the fumble, about how the ball was ripped out from Felipe Franks.
Big Bubba Blue. Elvis fans, let's go. What's that mean? If Duke can beat Clemson in the ACC championship, then I will be so happy and yell so loud. That's a good question, number one ND fan, about if Florida scores a touchdown. So you're down 23-21 if you kick, or 23-22, but if you... There's really not a good answer to that, because if you go for the 2, you don't get it. You're down 23-20, and of course then a field goal only sends you to overtime instead of wins the game. That's a great question. I don't know mathematically how it works out, the probabilities, because it's close. It's not an obvious choice. Not at all. Just like, I don't know if you guys watched the NFL game on Monday night, but the Giants were down. They were down 11. They scored a touchdown to go down by 5. No, I forget the scenario. I don't want to try to go through it. But on the surface, it made no sense, but basically they were setting themselves up to win the game with a field goal instead of tying the game with a field goal, even though it put them down by 2 scores because they did not want to play for overtime. George Jones is the king of country. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. I really don't care. Big Bubble Blue. Elvis from 68 to 73 is the bomb. That's a good time period. It's a good time period. Yeah, 69. Yeah. I can talk some Elvis, believe me. I probably know more about Elvis than I do college football. It's probably close. The AP poll is so disrespectful to the Blue Devils. Freeman, if you guys win this game and hang on to go to 6-2, you might make my top 25. We'll have to see. Rutgers had fame, by winning the first ever college football game? Randy Shannon's a defensive coordinator somewhere, right? Central Florida? South Florida. Central Florida. Central Florida. Yeah. Navy Thomas is telling us right now. My papa had a room dedicated as a shrine to Elvis. Oh, man. All right. Iowa is crumbling. It's a slow crumble. They just can't do anything on offense. They're not crumbling. Their defense won't let them crumble, but, man, they look bad. What else is going on in the world here? Houston just ran for a touchdown. Their quarterback. I interviewed this kid at the American Conference Media Days, De'Ara King. They're up 35-29 with 4 minutes left in the third. Kid's got 3 touchdown passes.
More exclusive stories from Maryland on Gators everywhere.
Nate Stanley's belly flopped. Yeah, based on what I've seen, I haven't seen him throw a good pass in like 3 quarters. Yetur Gross Matos. Monster game. 4 tackles for loss and 2 sacks for Penn State. I talked about this kid in my Penn State Iowa preview, in which I picked the Hawkeyes to win 26-23. All right, Frank's got himself a first down and more. I am not a Florida fan, just rooting for the Gators because of my pick. I could care less otherwise who wins this game. Same thing with Iowa and Penn State. Freeman, staying up with us, huh? You're in Germany. Wow. Freeman, you can do it. I was up until like 4:30 in the morning last night. Emory Jones, no pass attempts, 4 rushes. He's out there. That's pass interference. Okay. It was a little underthrown, but it was a decent throw. It was a decent throw. He had the right line on the throw. He threw it to the right area. He just needed to get it out a little bit more, but it was a decent throw. Oh, this is an ugly play. Forget that. Oh. Almost got out of it. Mustang Mike, I agree with you. It appears as though if we went through every play of this game that Florida is the better team, but they are making tons of mistakes. Not the better team by a ton. And I don't think they're the better team, but I mean on this particular day, they're playing at least as good as Georgia or better, and they're down by 9. But they've made some stupid plays. Eric Dungy will win the Heisman. Sure. If we have completely changed the criteria of the Heisman Trophy. Yep, very close. Oh. Got it.
Sure is. If it's a walk against Georgia, it's a first down. If it's against Florida, it's going to make the kick a lot harder. The post kick is the third option. Taking a weird spot, too.
Rolling on the field in this football, Kimbo is good. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Georgia, number 52.
It's a post kick foul, so the points stay.
Oh, the penalty after the, after the play. It sorely just hit a big pass play to KJ Hamler. I was starting to get torched in this game. They're falling apart.
And now, double the choices. Try quarter pound double cheeseburger or sprinkle with tots for just $2.99. Get them now pending soon.
Whatever happened to that Pitt Duke game? What's going on here? Is it over? No, they're still playing.
And they get it, they said, take Bobo there, and then changing the angles on everybody. There's a sophomore, Deion Jackson.
42 all with 9 minutes left. Wow.
Here's Jones. Calls his own number. The 9, he'll get 3 to the 6. Second and goal coming up. Tie game as we work toward 9 minutes to play at high speed.
Huh.
Get down here. It was a fumble by Daniel Jones right at the end of the first half. They get the football back. Take care of that football as the first now comes in to take this through.
Yep.
Jones on top.
That's it.
Should keep it.
Pitt rounds to the ball. No gain on the play. Might even lost a half yard. So third down coming up. Sean Adowu led the Pitt tacklers. David Cutcliffe and Pat Narduzzi locked up at 42 all. Harris comes out. Bobo has come into the slot. James with Lloyd to the right. And Taylor here to the left. And Jackson in the backfield.
Not on the field right now.
Jones for Lloyd.
Maybe for who?
And that was Motley. Here comes Colin Wareham for the field goal.
Nice job by the senior from Columbus, Ohio. Gives up that inside cut, but makes up for it. Comes over the top, rips it away. And a big stop to force the field goal try.
Okay. Score update. Kansas leads TCU 27-24 with 1 minute left. And they've got the ball. Oregon State trails Colorado 31-20. 8 minutes left in the game. Oklahoma 51-7 on Kansas State in the fourth quarter. Penn State over Iowa ended the third quarter 27-17. Houston has expanded their lead on South Florida 43-29. 2 minutes left in the third. Arizona State leads USC 31-28 in the fourth. Maryland up on Illinois 42-12 with 4 minutes left in the third. Got a pooch kick. Duke has just taken the lead on Pitt 45-42 with 8 minutes left. Cincinnati and SMU are tied at 17 in the fourth. Mizzou leads Kentucky 14-3. 6 minutes left in the third. And there you go.
Calling plays for Georgia. Have not been able to run the ball against the Florida. Jim looking right at you right there. And remember, Florida has both their corners. Their starting corner is out of the game. So what do? You go running out, or you try to tap the game?
First down, it's a play fake, bootleg. Brown comes up, slaying it, and he's going to complete. Brian Ridley, a first down for the Dogs.
You're looking at it, and James look at the same thing we are. They started out running the ball very effectively. But that's 64 yards in the first quarter. They only have 54 yards set. And that's why you see James says, I'm not going to look at 6 plays going
Oh my. Jeremiah. Again, Iowa +5. You might not score again this whole game. Shane, I'm right there with you. I was big on Iowa too. Justin Beggs. All right, this is the first time I've seen you on the live chat, Justin. So just let me know. I would like to know who you root for and when you started watching. Penn State's going to put this thing away. Oh boy, DeAndre Swift getting loose. My pen. Thanks, Justin. I appreciate that, man. I try. I got to say one thing. You guys have to consider when watching me and other people on YouTube that have other jobs. And, you know, I give ESPN 50 hours of my week as a production operations manager. So obviously, I sometimes come a little unprepared because I'm doing this constantly. And so obviously when this is a full-time job, or hopefully this becomes a full-time job, but for those commentators and analysts that have this as a full-time job, you get to prepare. So sometimes I miss a fact here and there. I slip up on something, like I did previews on all the Power 5 teams, and I missed some transfers, and people went nuts and obliterated me because I missed a few transfers. Because I put the preview together and I looked at information that was 2 weeks old and somebody just transferred and I got burned a couple times. So I appreciate you saying that, Justin. Thank you. Justin Beggs, the best commentators are off the cuff. Be true to your feelings, brother. 4th and 13 with 7 seconds left until Kansas wins. NIU is winning in the 4th quarter against BYU, 7-6. Freeman, I thought you were going to bed. Penn State looks pretty good right now, but I still think Michigan easily wins by 10 plus. So it's 27-17. Oh, we got a big play in the Penn State-Iowa game. Penn State just fumbled. There's 13 minutes left in this game. They're only up 10. They were going in for a touchdown, and they just fumbled. They were, bringing over the wide receiver. They were running a bit of a crisscross, and McSorley was either trying to keep the football, and he put it in there. And you see this from time to time with this RPO action where the quarterback puts it in there and he wants to fake out the defense, and he's trying to make a late decision, and he pulls it out. And obviously the back is coming through at a pretty good clip, and you're not going to have strong enough hands sometimes that it's going to get knocked out, and that's what happened. All right, Georgia's at the 25. 3rd and 9. Oh, he's got him. Beautiful. Bam. Maybe the Jake Fromm detractors will settle down a little bit after this performance. Good play by 99. Polit. I don't know if these are going to go over too well, but I may do kind of player profiles, not in a boring sense, with an opinion behind it. Meaning, like it hit me last week that I don't know how many of you guys are with me during the off season and have been in the past, but I typically rank the top 5 in every conference at every position and the top 10 nationally, and I'll bring on a few other people with me. And I believe that the people that I brought on that cover the SEC have been way too high on Nick Fitzgerald. And I have said this since his freshman year. He's a Tim Tebow running the football. He's probably a Tim Tebow passing the ball. He's not as good as Tim Tebow. That Nick Fitzgerald is just way overrated. And I just continue to see him play lackluster games when the defenses are decent enough, like Kentucky's was this year in Florida, to really just blow up the run and play the pass, that he's just not that good. And in watching Jake Fromm today, I've got some thoughts about Jake Fromm. So anyway, I know that because he played a bad game against LSU and Justin Fields is the #1 recruit in the country, that a lot of Georgia fans especially have been clamoring for Justin Fields. Though I might have an opinion piece on Jake Fromm this week. I might have an opinion piece on Nick Fitzgerald. I hate to criticize college kids, so I try to do it in a way that's not. They've put themselves on a big time. Well, we've put them on the big time stage by making the game this popular, but they're just student athletes. They're not paid, as far as we know. or can verify.
Almost out of the back of the end zone, so Florida starts from the 25. And now they have a uphill battle.
Florida scored a touchdown. Lose by 5. And it is a final in Lawrence, Kansas. Jayhawks 27, Horned Frogs 26. They even I would like to see how the game finished because they intentionally got a safety. They must have been trying to run out the clock, and they got a safety, 27-26, because it was 27-24. Iowa's got to punt again. There's 11 minutes left, and they punt it down to the 8. They've got to start moving the ball. Sorry, but Stanley for Iowa is not a good quarterback. He's not today. Shane, I don't know if you heard, Todd McShay said that he has him listed as the 3rd quarterback in next year's draft behind Justin Herbert and shoot, I don't remember who else. Who did he have him behind? I don't remember now. I might have to switch to that Duke Pitt game. Yeah, I may have to do that. 2:50 left, 45-45. Oh. 11 for 31. Wow. Oh, you guys are right. Yeah, he's got 2 excellent tight ends. Fant's an NFL player, and Hawkinson's a really good college tight end. He doesn't have much besides that. He doesn't have much going downfield for him. He's got Smith Marset and the other kid. Can't think of his name that goes downfield, but Easley's the slot guy. He's dependable. And Stanley's got a big arm. Oh, boy. All right, Florida's got a punt. And this has to be the last time they're going to punt in this game. Well, Shane, I hear you about quarterbacks currently in the Big Ten, but projecting them as NFL players, that's a different argument. All right, so what do we have here? 45-45, 2.5 minutes left. Duke and Pitt. 8:13 to play, Florida, Georgia. Let's see what's going on with this Penn State game. Or that Florida-Houston game. South Florida-Houston game. Oh, Iowa scored a touchdown. What just happened? Their defense must have scored a touchdown. What happened? Pick 6 on Trace McSorley. Wow. Huh. All right. We've got a game in Happy Valley, 27-24 with 10 minutes left. We've got a game at Pittsburgh, Duke and Pitt, 45 all, 2 minutes left. Duke with the ball. They just hit a pass out to the 50-yard line. Duke's at the 50, less than 2 minutes to play, 45 all. Is LSU going to keep playing around with coaches or what? And why isn't Miles coaching elsewhere in the SEC?
Think about this. The Iowa special teams and defense accounted for 18 points here today.
The Duke, Indiana, the bowl game, Freeman. Yeah, that was a great game. Except Indiana probably made that kick that they misjudged. So look at Penn State's last 5 losses. They had a lead in the 4th quarter and a double-digit lead in 3 of those games, the Rose Bowl and the 2 Ohio State games. Update from Pitt, 2nd and 10 for Duke. Daniel Jones in the shotgun. Throws it for another first down. Nope. Dropped. Penn State on the kickoff, coming back. KJ Hamler all the way down to the 33. But he might have fumbled. What do we got here? Looks like Penn State got it back. 68-yard return. He was down. Pitt just sacked Daniel Jones, but there was a flag, and I think he either went helmet to helmet or he grabbed him by the face mask. We'll see. So Penn State's down to the 31. So Iowa had a big opportunity there, and now they've given Penn State field position again. TJ Rahman should have caught that. Yes, he should have. I'm going to hang on to this Penn State drive before I go back to Georgia, Florida. Good play. Iowa's defense is serious. They've got a legitimate defense. For you Nathan Stanley detractors, let's understand he's got an injured thumb. Just a little bit something there to keep in mind. Oh, if the Iowa DB would have turned around, he might have picked that ball off. 4th and 5 for Penn State. So Iowa's held, and it's going to be about a 45-yard field goal. First down, Dogs in Florida territory. Mark Rogers, if Duke wins, then will you put Duke in the top 25? I've got to look at everybody else, though. Got to realize that. I've got to look at the other teams in the country. He hit it. So Penn State's up 30-24. Big kick. All right, let's go back to Georgia, Florida. 30-24. Penn State, 8:24 left. Got some exciting football coming down the stretch here. Pitt and Duke at 45-45. 30-24 with Penn State and Iowa. And it looks like Kentucky is blowing its showdown with Georgia. Although Georgia's lost a game, Kentucky's lost 2 if they lose this to Mizzou. So they can still win the SEC East if they beat Georgia head-to-head. All right, so now we've got a 3rd and 7. Florida obviously needs a stop here. Florida, you just need a stop just to score another touchdown so you can beat the spread. You don't need to win the game. Who's watching USF in Houston? I'm not, but hopefully it's close. But I've got to see this 3rd and 5. Oh, it's 50-36 with 11 minutes left. Oh, my goodness. He got the first down. He's gone. Touchdown. That iced it. That iced it. So for all the people that said that Florida looked like a better team for much of this game, I agreed with you, but it was very close. But really good teams make explosive plays. They do two things. They make explosive plays, and they don't make big mistakes. Florida's made the big mistakes in this game, and Georgia's had the explosive plays. If you take every play, it looks like Florida's played a better game, play to play to play to play, but Georgia's made the big explosive plays, and they've not made the big mistakes like Florida has. 36-17. All right. Okay, this is going to vault Georgia in the rankings. There's only a minute left in the Duke-Pitt game, and it's 45-all. So we might have some overtime. Pitt's got the ball, 45-all. They're about midfield, but Pickett was just sacked. Being someone who grew up in an era with domination from Florida schools, this era now is so strange. Yes, LSU smashed Georgia, but they also lost to Florida. Yeah, I guess I kind of jumped the gun. #1 ND fan in regards to the Georgia status in the polls. They can only go up so much. They're at number 7 right now. But in the college football playoff selection committee's eyes, this is a huge, huge win. What is USC going to do? Can they score a touchdown and win this game? Pitt's driving. They're at the 36. Oh. Iowa 2nd and 10. Thoughts on what Clemson Louisville line next week? Turner Kirby, I've not seen you in the chat before. Can you please do me a favor and let me know who you root for and how long you've been watching. Noah Fant just made a really good catch on a low throw, gathered the ball, broke a tackle, got a first down. I would agree with Clemson alum 98. The spread's probably going to be around 27. Where's the game going to be played? That's what I say all the time, Brady. Brady the GOAT. It's only one game. Took that right out of my book, or I took that out of your book. Pitch has scored a touchdown with not much time left. Just scored a touchdown with 5 seconds left. Freeman, I am so sorry. I am so sorry, Freeman. I know you love your Duke team, but yeah, that pretty much did it. Listen, folks, Pitt only has one loss in the ACC. They have 4 losses overall, but they've lost to Notre Dame, South Florida, Penn State. Listen to that non-conference schedule for Pitt. South Florida, Notre Dame, and Penn State. Who else plays the schedule like that?
3 consecutive completions to Fan for 12, 4, and 7 yards. Fan's brother went as a high school football coach, went on social media. He was concerned.
Pitt is in better position right now to win the ACC Coastal than Miami. Oh, Iowa's on the move. He didn't get knocked out. Iowa is back in this game. Somebody in the chat said game over when it went to 27-17, and Penn State was in the red zone. Did he step out? Oh, he might have right there. He might have stepped out. He stepped out right. He stepped out right there.
What about a 45-yard gain of his stance? Consider to mark him out.
Look at Pitt.
He stepped out about the 31-yard line. We'll take a look. And then they'll add some clock on as well. Yeah, 31 and a half there. It's interesting now for Brett Pryor, defensive coordinator for Penn State.
Maybe I'll do some videos this week on teams that appear to be very marginal teams, very teams that we didn't consider in the preseason. At the 32. Okay. Teams we never considered to be contenders that can win division championships and therefore can win conference championships. Kentucky, of course. Virginia. Pitt. Boston College. Northwestern. They can all win division championships. Colorado. I don't believe Colorado has played Utah yet, and Colorado only has 2 losses in the Pac-12, and Utah has 2. Kentucky can't score. They've got 3 points, even though they've got a wide receiver, Bowden, who's got 10 catches for 133 yards.
He's able to turn the corner. Stanley trying to get the block on Garrett Taylor. Holloway got it first. He went with Smith second. But second down. Interesting that Brian Ferentz chose to stay with that play call because that was the same play they had on the floor. Penn State saw the motion and was able to communicate the reverse. Yards are close. Scores close. Rankings are close.
Oh.
And Nick Easley in the neighborhood. And Keegan Render is having a tough drive here. This ball comes up way short, way to the left.
That snap.
Nate Stanley did a nice job of just getting that ball and throwing it away in the vicinity of the receiver to avoid the intentional ground. Either team been able to put on 3rd down here today. By 6.
I did not see Florida State's rushing yards today, Clemson alum 98. I'm going to guess with sack yardage included, and Iowa just picked up a huge third down conversion. I'm going to guess that Francois was sacked 5 times, so there's 50 or 60 yards lost that they probably rushed for 8 yards.
Yeah, Todd's a great job of getting him the ball in the passing game. That's his first catch, but he already had 91 yards rushing in the game.
Iowa's at the Penn State 18, down by 6, 4 minutes left. You got to love college football. Pitt scored with 5 seconds left to beat Duke 52-45. It appears that they're going to win the game. There's still 5 seconds left. You said their games are pretty much over, right? South Florida still down by 14. They need to help me out here. Colorado is now tied with Oregon State. They were winning 31-10. It's 34-all. USC is terrible. What channel is Iowa Penn State? It's on ESPN. Ooh, Arizona State scored. They put that a game. They put that game away. Kentucky is 1st and 10 at the Mizzou 11 with 11 minutes left, down 14-3. So they still have a chance to do something. Oh, man. See, Stanley can sling it. He can sling it.
You mentioned this is all about protection. Great job, Larry Jackson's been up and down in this game so far. Keegan Bender has been up and down, but they give Nate Stanley time, and this
all right. So Kentucky's got a chance to do something here. They're down 11, but they've got the ball at the Missouri 11. 11 minutes left. Stanley's face is bleeding. All right, they've got a 1st and goal. 3.5 minutes left. Oh, my word. Did you see what just happened? Oh, my goodness. Look at that. Oh, my goodness.
Stanley tried to change the play, Steve. He's at the line of scrimmage trying to change the play. It got loud down here by the student section. You could see the Iowa coaching staff on the field wondering what was going on. He's trying to change the play.
George, we're sorry. It'll be okay.
You got to manage that situation better and not be risky with the football.
Oh.
20 yards from where he was, and I'm watching Stanley's eyes. And he realizes he started yelling, kill, kill, kill. Looked up at the clock and saw we only had about 2 seconds left, and then that just rushed everything. The timeouts are always in your back pocket, too. If you don't have enough time and you're confused, just call a timeout. Huge swing in the game. And you wonder what if
yes, a huge swing in the game. Oh, my goodness. What is he doing?
3:13 to go. Penn State still up 6. Now they have the ball. See how they manage the clock.
Backyard camping is some good team bonding. You don't get a football
Iowa can win this division. They can go to the Big Ten championship game, but they are blowing this. Oh, where's Ricky? Ricky's probably losing it right now. Our boy Ricky, big Iowa guy.
Nature is amazing. When your TV service gets
Maybe Thomas, hang on. I was not done. There's still 3 minutes left in the game. They can get a 3 and out, get the ball back. Thoughts on the World Series? I was up doing that UCLA post game with my man Tony Siracusa when the World Series was still on, and then I watched the end of it. It's pretty cool. I can't watch the World Series like I used to, though, where I watched like everything I've seen. I know, Navy Thomas, I'm watching the game. I'm telling you, the game's not over. Yeah, he got picked. Did you see the circumstances? Noah Fant did not look for the ball, and Stanley shouldn't have thrown it, but he trusted that he was gonna turn his eyes and turn his head. I don't know if Penn State can burn the clock against that defense. We'll see.
So close. Makes no sense. Maybe can't even walk. Should have been a life insurance policy. Plus, would have been a great song. Think about it. The lyrics.
We got one person who didn't like the live stream. If there's anybody on the live stream right now that doesn't, that has not liked, please do. Epic yawn, glorious live streams. Ryan, we get an epic comment from Ryan about the epic yawn, and I've never even seen Ryan say anything in a live chat. Ryan, how long you been watching, and who do you root for? Mizzou stuffed Kentucky on 4th and 1. Oh, great. Beautiful. I've got Kentucky in 7. Everything is turning the wrong way on me here.
Change something, you're going to have enough time at the line of scrimmage to do so. Everybody was on different pages.
Well, Nate Stanley's got to get his head back in the game here because they can get the ball right back. It's, what, 2nd and 6? 2nd and 6, 3.5 minutes left. Oh, that's going to be a big first down for Penn State right there. Big first down. Shouldn't have run the ball out of bounds. That was dumb.
Stanley is 16 of 40. 183 yards, no scores, 2 touchdowns. Right here, if you're Trace McSorley, an opportunity to ice this football game. Iowa's got 2 timeouts, ticked under 3 minutes here. Get a first, another first down here, you might be able to end this football game. And what a second half it's been for Trace McSorley.
It's 7 o'clock. Wow.
Iowa will spend it on the timeout. It's going to be one sore puppy tomorrow. Wonder how Penn State would manage this game up by 6 with 2:26 to go. Last week, a lot of talk about the play calling down the stretch. Had a 12-point lead, 4.5 to play in the 4th, and Penn State went 3 and out, and it was how they went 3 and out. 3 straight passes. You got to get the play on first down, so they could. On second down, it's a completed pass, just like a running play. And then Indiana takes a timeout. Indiana specs were there, and then on third down, you have to pass. It's 3rd and 10. You don't have to. No, you don't. You don't have to. It's all what you think. It's the time more valuable. In that situation, I think you should have run the football and taken time off the clock. But you know, we talked to Ricky Bonney about it, and he says, I want to be aggressive in that situation. I understand that. And, but now I think in this situation,
Arizona State 38, USC 35. Final.
Make sure that you're taking time, 4 timeouts off the clock. Last week, that took just 19 seconds off the clock. Again, it's been sorely.
All right, so this is a huge play right here. We got 2:20 left in the game. Iowa just took a timeout. It's 3rd and 3. They have to get a stop here. Let's see. If they don't get a stop, then yeah, they don't have any timeouts left.
I always got things here for you, ladies, including USC's 19-game home win streak has snapped. Manny Wilkins here, 45 yards, the longest one of his career, and Herm Edwards now squares his record of 4 points. Arizona State beats the Trojans 38-35. How about Updates?
My picks today have been awful, and I kind of knew it. I kind of saw it coming. There were a number of games that I thought, you know what?
2:21 left. Penn State up 30-24. Iowa has yet to beat a ranked team all season. Team we said based on Wisconsin's loss, they control their own destiny coming in. Yeah, and they do. And they do in the Big Ten West. But they're going to stop here on 33. This ball game's over.
So Kentucky did just score. Okay, they stopped McSorley for a 1-yard loss, so they're going to get a punt, get the ball back with about 90 seconds left.
We're going to get the football back with about a minute and a half left. We'll see what Blake Gilligan's able to do here from a punting standpoint, but you have to think that Nate Stanley thankful to get another opportunity after that key interception on the goal line. Not to mention that Noah Fant got going on that drive and is in this football game. 3 consecutive plays going to Fant. Again, it's been a tough afternoon for Gilligan. Coach Franklin said he's been in a slump recently. Had a punt block off a bad snap. That led to the opening safety. Then a bad snap was sailed over his head for another safety.
Yeah, Penn State messed up a couple times on this drive, keeping the clock running. They completed the one pass to the sideline, and the wide receiver ran out of bounds. So you guys want me to predict the college football playoff standings, so I'm going to be predicting what somebody else is going to select, okay?
Oklahoma at number 5 there. They lost to Texas. I get it. I look at it this way. Which of the teams are the most scared of playing? And I just think with the offense that they have with Lincoln
Todd McShay is ranking teams, and I love Todd McShay, but he's ranking teams based on how scared you would be to play them. Really? This is how he's okay.
I think they will rebalance they did against Florida today. Shifted them in a little late.
The last field goal by Penn State on the long kickoff return was huge, obviously, because otherwise they'd only be up by 3. And Iowa trying to drive this ball 80 yards for a touchdown in 123 is going to be tough. All right, Stanley. Ooh. That was a key tackle because it kept the clock running. He was going to get out of bounds. So they got the first down, but here comes the clock. Now they got to snap this thing. They don't have much time. They've got to rip these throws down. Ooh, just missed it. This is a long way to go in 66 seconds with no timeouts. Yeah, but the clock still runs when they set the ball. Yeah, it stops, but they reset the clock when they set the ball, as opposed to when it's out of bounds. They don't start the clock until the next play, Shane. So there is a pretty significant difference.
So you got to get the first down, but you also got to push this ball to the outside of the field because no timeout really restricts where you can
down and 10 upcoming. Here's Finn in the slot. Nate Stanley. Mitch Hopper's been off the night. And he pulled out.
Nice. He's in bounds, though. Okay, well, they've got a first down with 56 seconds. And see, they set the ball. They didn't even set the ball, and they started the clock. They started it a long time ago. This is tough. 39 seconds. They're only out to what, midfield? Yeah, they're only at the 45.
We wrap up here. Texas A&M, Mississippi State. It started in the SEC. That game will start over on ESPN News as soon as we're finished here. Get back over to ESPN for it. They're at 45.
Oh, nice throw, nice catch. Great catch by Hawkinson. Their tight ends are good. Fant's just a freak, and Hawkinson, look at that catch on the sideline. That was great. He did. Okay, they're going to look at this for 5 minutes. Yeah, they did, Shane. They started it way early. That's why, another reason why I'm saying it's a big deal to get out of bounds, because they're not going to start the clock until the ball's snapped.
Will give them enough evidence to make a determination of a catch, no catch. What an unbelievable effort from Hawkinson. I mean, that is an unbelievable catch. Athletic play.
So I asked this last night because so many people were mad. Miami fans were mad about Mark Richt. And some of you want him gone, period. And some of you just want him to relinquish the play calling and the offensive coordinator role. So I asked for people to put in the comments section who they want to be the next Miami head coach and or offensive coordinator for you Miami fans. I doubt if anybody else cares. We're talking about going to Destin for vacation in January, but it's probably not that warm in January in Destin.
Let me ask you, so when his foot taps down, though, he went to a slip and slide with his pals. When his foot touches down, the foot, he does not have complete control. But he regains control as he's flying out of bounds after the fact. This will be interesting. This might be a ball game, too.
Oh, my. That's a bad call. That's a bad call. Considering what was called on the field, that was a crappy call. That was a bad call. It was a catch. Bad. Bad call. Especially when that, you know, they're taking like 16 or 17 yards away from them, plus a first down. Plus the play obviously took time. Oh, he's running in bounds, which he can't help. Still.
He's at the 44. Doesn't do any good. Gotta have 6. And then maybe 7. But Stanley up the low snap. And Fant can't hang on to that. We'll take the incompletion with 17 seconds left. Now, get that first down, because if he doesn't get that first down, now you're under 10 seconds trying to run the play and the game is over. But now, We haven't mentioned Sharif Bell or Shaka Tony for Penn State defensively on this drive. Everybody knows they're throwing the ball out. This offensive line has stepped up for Iowa, at least giving them a chance to put the ball out of the field. 17 seconds left. 44 Penn State. They're getting loud. Seconds to snap it. It's Stanley. Across the middle.
Let's get 2 throws, maybe 3, but that distance 2. Oregon State beat Colorado. Oregon State beat Colorado. They were down 31-10. Let's give it up for Oregon State. They were down by 3 touchdowns, and they suck on the road at Colorado, and they beat them 41-34. Hey, Stanley, you just got to rip it now. That's all there is to it.
This is it. Comes down to this for Iowa. Came into this game controlling their own destiny in the Big Ten West. Northwestern beat Wisconsin. It's a playoff hope still on the line. Down to this point. Penn State has dropped 5 players back deep. They're going to rush 4.
Ball game. Unless number 74 can run 40 yards for a touchdown.
Cam Brown comes in late and basically it's helping to help down contact and then he goes down to the ground and he's still going around. I was surprised that we didn't see a target on that play. That would have been significant time because it wouldn't the game would not have ended.
Yeah, it would have given them one more play and 15 yards. Iowa got I didn't see it. Oh, he's talking about down here. Oh.
I think that's a good no call.
Yeah.
Saw, but he really never made contact.
No, he
I
didn't.
think that's a good no call. It would be a shame to give Iowa one more play on a call like that.
Although Iowa should have had a first down because they caught the ball. All right, everyone. Appreciate you stopping by. Iowa loses. That screws me. Florida loses. That screws me. And that's the kind of day it's been. But it's been nice hanging out with everyone for the big Florida-Georgia watch party. Bulldogs win. They've got a matchup with Kentucky for first place in the SEC Eastern Division next week. I'll be looking at all the results and all the games and watching most likely Mississippi State, Texas A&M, Texas, Oklahoma State. You know all the big games tonight. And getting myself something to eat, most importantly. And besides that, I'm sure I will be back for more instant analysis tonight. I can't let you know exactly when, but probably after the primetime games, we can all get together and talk it up, and I'll take phone calls. All right, everyone, thanks for stopping by. Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Please give me a like if you get a chance. It's just a click. Give me a like and share the videos and do all those good things to help support the channel. See you guys soon.
So far, you can really tell with Mississippi State, they're trying to throw the football.